Welcome to another episode of No News is News. I am your host, Alex R. Wagner. And today, we've got Daddy Trump going to the America 250. Let's go checking it out tonight, everybody. First up, as always, we've got our poll of the day. Is JD in the poll now today? JD is retired from the poll today. Oh, wait, no. Oh, no, Snoop Dogg won. That's right. JD is retired from the poll today.
Right,
let's
left,
check those Kelsey odds, everybody.
Left, everybody gets hit, no news.
AOC, Marco Rubio, John Ossoff, wow, AOC is right there. Who will be president in 2028? 807 days, I believe. Check that out. Welcome back to the chat, y'all. Two Gun Cohen and Magic already in here. Let's go, Trump Daddy.
Who's lying?
How many days?
Who's winning?
How many days until 2028?
Who's getting roasted tonight? No
807.
Is news.
807 days until election. And we've got AOC, no wins. And then we've got Marco Rubio with 27 wins. What? Oh no, JD didn't win, so JD stays in. That's it. Okay. So it's JD Vance with 86 wins. And then it's AOC. And then it's Marco Rubio with 27 wins. And then our fourth place is John Ossoff. Get your vote in now. The show starts now, everybody. Pull up the chatter real quick.
The whole world's on fire and it
Welcome.
so bright.
Two Gun Magic and Michael all in the chat right away. Appreciate you all stopping by. Let's get into it, guys.
Right.
Left, right.
Right, left, everybody gets hit. Left, everybody gets hit. No news is news. No
Okay.
news is news. No news is news.
Welcome to No News.
Eminem
is
2028. I like that one. Okay. Here we go. AOC is number 2 now in the Kelsey odds, guys. It's JD Vance and now AOC. So she's bumping herself up there. Gavin Newsom now in 5th place in that. All right, let's get into some of the news today. CNN, fast-growing hawk fire forces evacuations in Reno, Nevada. Governors declare emergency, a fast-moving... Oh, shoot. I forgot to do something real quick. Give me 1 second. I just had to do one little thing here on the update. I always forget to do this. I got to switch us to news on our live stream. All right. There we go. And now we're good. Okay. Let me get back at this. Okay. Fast-growing hawk fire forces evacuations in Reno, Nevada. Governor declares emergency. A fast-moving wildfire outside of Reno, Nevada exploded to more than 10,500 acres Saturday, forcing residents from their homes and prompting Governor Joe Lombardo to declare a state of emergency in Washoe County. The hawk fire remains 0% contained late Saturday as gusty winds, low humidity, and dry brush fueled its rapid spread. Officials say some structures had already burned. Evacuation orders expanded overnight, including into the Somerset neighborhood, after residents of roughly 1,000 homes were initially told to prepare to leave. About 400 firefighters were battling the blaze, with helicopters assisting overnight. The fire's cause remains under investigation. New York Post, 5 passengers burned after a laptop catches fire on an American Airlines flight. 5 passengers were believed to be burned after a laptop caught on fire during an American Airlines flight carrying over 130 passengers, according to reports. The pilot reported a cabin fire in the back of the airplane on the flight from Atlanta to Georgia to Dallas, Texas on Friday evening, according to the air traffic control audio obtained by CBS News. Flight attendant raced to try to extinguish the flames. According to the audio, flight attendants received extensive training when it comes to potential cabin fires due to lithium-ion batteries. Flight attendants contained the fire with a thermal containment bag, FAA said, adding that it is under investigation for the incident. Back to humanoid robot Olympics in China. Chinese robot beats Usain Bolt's 100-meter sprint world record. They allow lithium-ion batteries to carry on for reasons they can put on they can put a fire in the cabin. Okay, they're just responding to stuff here. Boo boo boo, boo boo. More videos? No. Okay, no. Now on your AI data center question, see background slides for the weekend. Political and cost issues. California's energy costs are some of the highest in the country, as well as taxes, and no tax breaks are offered for data centers. Land near urban areas, particularly in Silicon Valley, is pricey and constructive. More questions. All right. Consumer Report reports, back to water use, one issue is that 2/3 of the data centers built in the United States since 2022 are in areas already experiencing water stress, according to the Bloomberg News investigation. That includes parts of Texas. The state is already home to roughly 400 data centers. One planned site called Project Matador will house 18 million square feet of data centers, plus 4 nuclear reactors and a natural gas power plant. The developer, Fermi America, plans to use hybrid air-water cooling systems and says it is investigating the use of recycled water to conserve resources. In Arizona, another water-stressed state, companies have built or announced plans to build 26 data centers since 2022. An analysis by Cirrus, a nonprofit advocacy group, found that approximately 385 million gallons of water per year for direct cooling needs, and it predicts that that amount will skyrocket to 3.7 billion gallons per year once the region's planned data centers come online. That's a 870% increase, and it's nearly twice the water needed to supply the city to the size of Flagstaff. Damn, bro. What, okay, more questions. And that's the news for the day, guys. Let's get into it now. First up, we got Daddy Trump up here on the America 250. Let's check out some of these things. He did an interview down on the sideline to start the race. Let's get into
Chris,
that.
I've had the opportunity to interview the president a few times over the years. And Mr. President, it has taken a lot of people to make this happen. Why was it important to you to bring IndyCar to the streets of D.C.?
Well, Roger told me they've been trying to do it for 20 years, and he'd come down. I think he said he was down 211 times to try and get it done. And when he came to see Trump, it got done in about 15 minutes, and it's turned out to be much bigger than we ever even thought possible. They actually closed the bridges. It's so many people want to come. And I think 350,000, and they closed the bridges. You have a lot of people that want to come. So it's turned out to be, I think, bigger and better. And the weather is beautiful. You know, I was hearing about rain all week long. It's going to rain. I said, no, it's not. And this is as nice a day as I've seen in Washington in a long time.
Well, you've been to a lot of sporting events in person. What are you most looking forward to about your first IndyCar race here at the Freedom 250?
Just that everyone's safe, they have a good time. The track is wonderful. You know, we were going around the Capitol, but this turned out to be a better track. And so now we see the Capitol. You see it right behind you. And I want everyone to be safe, and I want the people to have a good time.
You just had a chance to meet many of the drivers, the team owners. What was your message to them about this historic day?
Again, good luck, do well, have fun. I don't want to say sort of be safe because it's sort of a negative thought, right? They don't want to be thinking about that because if they do, generally speaking, you're not going to win when you start thinking that way. But they're great. I know many of them through name. I know some of them by being with you on a couple of occasions. But it's a great sport. And Roger's an amazing guy. Didn't he win it 20 times, the Indy 500? Nobody wins anything 20 times, anything but the Indianapolis 500. And he almost won last time by half a foot. I watched that. But Roger's been a friend of mine for a long time, and there's nobody like him.
Mr. President, thank you for hosting us. Enjoy your day, and you're going to wave the green flag.
I think so. I hear that. Yeah, I'm going to make a little circle in a nice, secure car, slightly slower than the ones we're going to witness, but we're going to have fun.
Thank you for your time. The President and the First Lady now will take a lap around the track, and then he will wave the flag, and then he will find his seats here for the rest of the race.
Well, that's cool if you're on one of those buildings to watch that race. It's a pretty fucking cool race. All right, so here is the flyover they had at it. Air Force One. United States Army. Coast Guard. And the Marine Corps. Heyo, hoorah, America. Let's see what else we got here. This is Jamie Little, who won the event, coming out of his car.
Kirkwood. This moment, absolute domination. As an American driver racing here on the streets of Washington, D.C., Kyle, put this moment in perspective for us.
You can't even put it into words. This is incredible. I'm almost in tears here. This is a big moment for us. Big moment for America here, the 250, right? Big moment for Andretti. Big moment for Sam's Club and Honda. These guys, they're the ones that gave me the equipment and this car right here to be out there, to go out there and perform. But man, that was a hard race. 147 laps. I'm out of breath right now trying to get words to you, if I'm being honest.
Kyle.
Do you notice that the liberals are nowhere to be seen, at least the media, when it comes to this race versus UFC 250? It's because UFC 250 was directly a Trump-sponsored event. This America 250 race, they had been trying to get this down for over 20 years, okay? So there is that. And of course, that means that, you know, when liberals scream and yell and say, oh, I can't believe that he did a race around the White House, what a redneck, they're actually talking about liberals themselves, because liberal lawmakers were also part of making this happen. Which is why they're not talking shit about it like they were with UFC or the motorbikes. I think all three are fucking cool. Kyle Kirkwood jumping out after winning the America 250 Grand Prix. And they call it the inaugural America 250 Grand Prix because they want to be able to do this every year, and hopefully they'll be able to. But we'll see if it becomes super political or not. I mean, I think Trump will invite him back. So after he won the race, a bald eagle was there to greet him with the trophy.
A few more things as a driver to add on to make it more difficult, but if I was a driver out there, I would say, Danica, be quiet.
All right, the American bald eagle, and that's Lincoln, by the way, part of the ceremony and pageantry and patriotism for this unique, special.
What if the
IndyCar
fucking eagle
event.
just came in like and ate him?
I don't know if they're going to let
Ate his face.
let Lincoln fly around or hand off to the winner of the race.
I wonder what kind of treats they use for this.
But boy, that is a proud
Incredible.
stare from not only Lincoln, but from the drivers. You know, you finish in the top three, you get that podium finish in here. There we go.
Seeing an eagle is always majestic. Whenever you're out in the wild and you see one, I could think of.
Fox News has the worst reporting, I swear to God. This is Trump going with the motorcade around with Melania, and then watch when they pan over. After they finish the end of the motorcade, the final lap before the race, they panned up. Boom! Air Force One. Pretty fucking wild, to be honest. And I hope they do this every year. I hope they get it to do it. Interview with the driver who won the America 250
it hasn't
after
really
the
settled
race.
in yet, right? Like, I won the race. I get out of the car. I see President Trump sitting there cheering me on. As a proud American, that's a pretty big deal to have the president cheering you on. Nothing
they
else
pray to
like
baby
it, right?
Jesus for the race?
But that was not a hard.
Dear
That was not an
baby
easy race. So,
Jesus.
I mean, it hasn't really
2
settled.
foot, 3 inch, supple skin. Baby Jesus.
They will see the green flag waved by
And here's Trump
President
giving the
Trump.
flag, which is going viral everywhere.
Freedom 250 Enes below with a great start down the inside, running down towards
That's just
third.
wild. I'm sorry, that's
Kirkwood
ridiculous.
Tries to get around him immediately and into the lead. He squeezes the championship leader. They all get through seemingly cleanly. And it's a good start from Palou and from Kirkwood, who are still side by side.
And it's funny how racing is such a rich elitist thing that it took Congress actually approving it. And last thing that we want to point out
Donald Trump.
is there was a PSA put out by every celebrity across America. It's the most serious PSA that celebrities have ever put out, guys. Just remember to help these celebrities out here.
Donald Trump grabbed my pussy.
Donald Trump grabbed me by the pussy.
The hateful things he says literally hurt my pussy. A lot.
Donald Trump grabbed me by my pussy.
Donald Trump grabbed my pussy in a very inappropriate way.
Donald Trump grabbed me by my pussy.
Donald Trump grabbed me by my pussy.
Damn, that's so sad, man. Anyway, all right. On to the news now, guys. Here, let's get into it. Mike Pence up first on Sunday
Here with
News
me now
program.
from
Oh, my God. Mike Pence looking like a corpse. What happened to Mike Pence? Bro, those liver spots not doing you justice, my guy. Oh,
Ukraine
my
is
God.
former Vice President Mike Pence. Thank you so much for being here.
Woo!
You are in Kyiv. We can see the beautiful shot
He's
there
in
and hear
Kyiv.
the
Why is he-
bells.
why is he in Kyiv?
And I know that you went to the National Prayer Breakfast this morning.
Thank you, Dan, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you. You went to this breakfast to mark 35 years since the end of the Cold War. Of course, you're also there amid heavy Russian attacks, even in recent days. You met with President Zelensky. What did he tell you about this moment
Fucking
for
church bells are
Ukraine
kind
and
of-
what they still need?
Shut the church bells off. Mike Pence talking.
Well, to be gathered and have the chance to address the National Prayer Breakfast as the 35th anniversary of the fall of the Soviet Union and Ukraine's independence. It was a great privilege for me. Thousands of
That's
people
hilarious,
gathered
isn't it?
from across Ukraine
Church bells playing
and
everywhere.
frankly around the world. And the sense you have of the deep resolve, not only of the leadership from President Zelensky on down, but rank and file military, everyday Ukrainians is palpable. Look, Ukraine is winning this war. 4.5 years after that brutal and unprovoked invasion by Russia, Ukraine's military on the front lines has fought Russia to a stalemate. And by essentially reinventing drone warfare, they've taken the fight directly in to the heart of Russia. They've sunk ships in the Black Sea.
The fucking church
It's
bells,
really
bro.
been
Why
extraordinary.
didn't they wait till
have
the church
challenges
bells were
with
done
ballistic
to do the
missiles
interview?
that
They're gonna do
President
it
Zelensky
outside.
and I talked about,
What the
Dan.
fuck? Can't even hear him.
But the incredible determination of these people fighting on what I believe is just the latest front line of freedom, of the battle between liberty and tyranny, the battle between good and evil, is deeply inspiring to be here.
Well, you mentioned the missiles that they have affected.
Yeah, Pence should run against Vance for biggest retard in the chat, apparently.
Run out of U.S.-made
Mike
Patriot
Pence. We're all gonna
missiles,
vote
which
for
is
Mike Pence.
their really only defense aside from those drones against Russian missile strikes.
The charisma
The
of Mike
shortage
Pence.
is being driven by the Iran war. Sources tell CNN the U.S. has burned through roughly half of its Patriot missile supply defending against
Ding dong,
Iranian
exactly.
attacks.
It's like, what the fuck?
Are Ukrainians paying the price for the president's war with Iran?
Well, I don't see it that way, and I don't think the Ukrainians do either. I mean, as I talked to President Zelensky, he made it very clear that they have the
Bro, how
ability
long are
to
these
deal
church
with the
bells?
drone
He's been interviewed for 2.5 minutes and they're still playing church bells. They just
warfare.
keep
On
playing
some
forever?
occasions, Russia has sent thousands of drones. They're able to take those down. But recently, and I think it's an act of desperation, Vladimir Putin has begun to fire those high-arc ballistic missiles into Ukraine, and without a sufficient amount of either Patriot or THAAD, anti-ballistic missile systems, they essentially are going to be deeply vulnerable, particularly in the winter months. One of the things President Zelensky made clear to me is that he fully expects that as winter approaches, sooner than later, that Putin will start to strike not just a children's school and hospital as he did this week, not just a shopping mall taking more than a dozen lives, but that he'll start to strike that energy infrastructure to try and essentially impose, the deep winter cold on the people of Ukraine. So President Zelensky asked, he said, we're looking just for 5% of your remaining Patriot inventory, and he believes that would get them through the winter months. But I also believe that there may be an opportunity for other allies. South Korea has interceptors that are very sophisticated, and with some of the back and forth between the president and South Korea this week, this might be an opportunity for President Lee to step forward, make those interceptors available to the United States to deploy either in the Middle East or...
I just don't understand this. Like, at a certain point, guy, like, just fucking retire. Just fucking retire. Why do these people do this? It's so annoying. Like, why are you in Ukraine trying to lobby for some fucking war? Shut the fuck up, go back to Indiana, and hang out with your wife. It's over, bro. Why? Why do you gotta keep fucking with shit? You're about to die.
Here in Ukraine or to European allies who could do the same. So it really is an extraordinary time in the life of this country's
Christ,
fight
5 minutes in
for
and
four
still
and a
those
half
church
years.
bells.
And but I want to say to your viewers around the world, to be on the ground here after the devastating attacks of this last week by Russia. And seeing the resolve and the determination, Ukraine is winning this war. And if we give them what they need, they're going to secure their sovereignty and a peaceful and just future. I just know it with all my heart.
President Trump, turning to Iran, says the situation in Iran is so good. But 6 months into a war that he said would last about 6 weeks, he's stuck in a stalemate.
Why would you do
His 60-day ceasefire expired. No signs of a peace deal or plans for further talks.
That's insane.
And this morning, Iran's president says that it is in a full-scale war with the U.S.
Put him inside. What the fuck?
If you were still
All I hear is
Donald
church
Trump's
bells.
vice president, what would you advise
Oh my
him
God,
to do
it's
right
so
now?
bad. It's like the dumbest fucking interview
Well,
of all
first,
time.
I just want to reiterate, I think President Trump did exactly the right thing, taking the fight for the first time directly to the mullahs in Tehran last year and again this year in Operation Epic Fury. Our military did a brilliant job. The USS Abraham Lincoln is...
Hey, co-sider. You know how co-sider over here saying that Mike Pence should run to, fight Trump. Do you not hear him on this fucking interview? He's literally praising Trump.
Home.
Also, he has liver spots and he's about to die. He's not going to make it to 2028, all right?
Folks that were flying aircraft off that ship, they took down 13,000
the
sites.
church bells,
but then they stopped.
That's for him to go to
as
heaven.
you suggest. We started into
Ding
a period
dong,
of ceasefires. We negotiated
the
a 60-day MOU, which turned out to be for naught.
Why did Lindsey Graham have to get blown up and not? I mean, I don't want anybody getting blown up, but Lindsey Graham over this guy? Come on. I'd choose Lindsey Graham over this guy any day. Why did we not? We should have protected Lindsey Graham, and we should have... Somebody's going to write... I'm telling you guys, somebody's going to write a book in 20 or 30 years, and they're going to act like they made some big journalistic discovery that Lindsey Graham got blown up in some Ukrainian fucking drone factory. And it's like, yeah, no shit. We knew this the day it happened. It's like they keep trying to just sell us garbage.
I think as the president announced strong new D-Day style economic sanctions, it's going to be absolutely imperative
that we
keep the pressure on and that we keep the military assets in the region
to be
able to take the action that I believe is going to be inevitable.
He's not even out here campaigning.
You don't make peace with your enemy. You make peace with your defeated enemy. And the kind of rhetoric you heard from the president of Iran this morning proves that the Iranians don't yet understand that they have been defeated, despite the fact that they have been. But I think it's going to be essential that we keep the pressure on, keep the military assets in the region. Because
Magic Mike said, keep it respectful, guys. I think he is talking to Skunk. Faga is pretty close to a word that we're not allowed to use here. So let's not.
I think the time is going to
go
come
into that,
sooner rather than later when the president and our ally Israel are going to have to go in and finish the job.
I want to ask you about something a little closer to home in the U.S., and that is the new renewed trade war between Canada and the U.S. going dollar for dollar on 50% tariffs. Trade talks collapsed on Friday night. The Canadian Prime Minister blamed unfair last-minute demands by the U.S., saying the administration asked too much and offered too little, and that Canada is effectively at war with the U.S. on trade. Does that help Americans right now?
Talents are coming.
Look, we hear about the issue of affordability right now, and as you know,
this guy doesn't even
I've taken a firm position since Liberation Day.
Like, hey,
tariffs that fortunately,
skank, this person or skunk, I guess. Oh, you only timed him out for 30. If he comes back and he says something, I'll ban him for the rest of the day.
The Supreme Court.
I was going to ban him because he just wants to get spanked. People like that, they just like the kink of being spanked, and I was just going to let him get spanked.
That American businesses and American consumers pay American tariffs. And I think the last thing we need right now, as our economy is getting back on its feet, is a trade war with Canada. But yeah, my hope is I was in on all the negotiations for the USMCA. I know the tough line President Trump draws. It usually.
Oh, Mike Pence, you're a hero. We're listening to you on CNN. You're a hero. You saved America. What do you got to say? I'm over here in Ukraine lobbying for Donald Trump. Why are we? What are we? They're all on the same side. Do you want more bombs or more bombs? Okay. If you go into the voting booth and you vote for all of the blue incumbents, you get to fund Ukraine and all of the bombs of Ukraine. If you vote for all the red ones, then you get to bomb with Israel. So do you want to give your bombs to Israel or do you want to give your bombs to Ukraine? And then also they're fucking up the healthcare system. So eventually they promise, they swear, they're going to fix it. We're going to get healthcare. Don't you guys worry. I know the groceries are bad. I know the gas is bad. I know that nobody can get a fucking job. I know the data centers are fucking hogging up everything and we're going to keep building them. But, 90-10 issue. Nobody wants a data center even in a Republican area. But hey, you know what, guys? Do you want us to fund our bombs through Ukraine or Israel? Do you want healthcare or healthcare? Awesome. And you wonder why, literally, they have a new poll that just came out, CNN, and they're like, the midterms are actually about the double haters and who hates who the most. And I'm like, this is about the last stupid idiot voting because everybody else is giving up because either side is either bombs for Israel or bombs for Iran. And who are they bombing? Bombs for Israel or bombs for Ukraine. And who are they bombing? Fucking Iran. So it doesn't matter. And then both sides are going, hey, do you want Trump RX or do you want free healthcare? It's the same fucking shit. I want you to do something.
Accompanied.
And to be honest, the only guy doing anything for me is Donald Trump because he gave me a UFC event. He gave me motorbikes on the fucking White House lawn. He gave me fireworks on the 4th of July. He gave me a fucking race in downtown D.C. I never asked for any of these things, but at least they were something. Everybody else is giving me nothing.
With short-term action and hot rhetoric, we're getting the same from the Canadians.
The concept of healthcare?
My hope is, for the sake of American families and for the sake of the American economy, that what we're looking at here is negotiation and not confrontation in a trade war. And
you will never get healthcare with Trump. I have Trump RX. And if I vote for communism, I get the Trump RX site deleted, and then the government just pays for it. Oh wow! Oh man, as a healthy 35-year-old adult, what could I ever do with that? Don't give me more job opportunities. No. Also, go and tell me that I can go and work for ICE or I can go and work as an air traffic controller. Literally can't work as an air traffic controller unless you're under the age of 31. And then I applied for ICE in February. I get an interview this Tuesday. And then they told me there's going to be 3 more rounds of interviews. But you're right. They're just putting everybody willy-nilly in a nice position, and they're all Nazis running down the road. Okay. The narrative doesn't match reality. You are giving no Americans any opportunity period, on either side, and promising us empty fucking health care for the 65-year-olds that are still left. Thank you.
That's how I would advise the president. Drive a hard bargain. But
there
let's
ain't
pursue
a
free
fucking
trade
lick of this that any
with
of us
free
should give a shit
nations,
about.
most especially our
This
trading
race-baiting
partners to the
bullshit.
north.
Quickly, before I let you
Look
go,
at
I
Hasan
do want to
Piker.
ask
He's
about
talking about
comments
Charlie
by
Kirk. Ah!
Julie Curley, former CIA officer
Okay.
who served as your daily
As you
briefer
do
during the first
nothing.
Trump term. She's a trans woman. I spoke to her earlier this week, and she said, despite your different views, you treated her with, quote, great dignity.
Biden did give us gay sex in the White House and cocaine. That is true. That is true. Trans boobs in the Rose Garden. That's what I'm saying. Like, the presidents are doing their job. You got trans titties. You got UFC on the White House. You got Michelle Obama's a man. These are things Americans care about with their president, okay? I want trans titties, cocaine, UFC, and races. Hell yeah. Now, is Congress going to do something? Are the people writing the laws? Would they like to do anything? Just anything, please.
And
I'd be happy with trans titties at this point. Fucking legalize the trans titties. I don't care. Like, just do something. Like, the Supreme Court had to say, actually, you can keep digging your hole in the White House lawn because we know that Congress won't do anything.
a big moment for her in her life was you telling her mother that you must be very proud of your daughter. What was your reaction to hearing her say that?
You know, I haven't read the article.
This person over here, LG, is looking for a mature chat on YouTube mobile live streams. Good luck, my guy.
I appreciate
Good
the
luck,
kind
my guy.
words. But, you know, you and I have known each other a long time.
Ding dong, the fucking church bells are
my conservative
ringing
values
in my
are
head as I
fairly
listen to
well
Mike
known, but,
Pence.
maybe some people didn't
Give
quite
us some
know
gobbledygook about
among our
pro-war
Christian
Israel.
values is my wife and I believe.
Give the weapons to Ukraine. Don't give them to Israel. Okay, who is Ukraine fighting? Oh, they're fighting Iran. Oh, okay. Who is Israel fighting? Oh, they're fighting Iran. Oh, okay. So I get to choose who gets to fight Iran. Awesome, cool, awesome.
And
Salad.
treating others the way that we'd like to be treated, with decency and respect.
Jesus Christ, that
you know,
whole interview,
I was
10 fucking minutes, and the whole interview is just him with a bunch of church bells just yapping.
To hear Julia
jippity yap.
reflect that you know, that
Ding,
was
ding, ding,
the
ding, dong.
experience.
No, I can't understand or think for you either, my guy.
That
I don't even feel bad.
Took place in our office.
You could have went inside.
So millions of
That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. All right, now, Education Secretary tanking all of education, Linda McMahon. Let's go!
students are heading back to school, and there are a lot of
Oh, and here's Dana Bash with her fucking script. Is it a blue or pink revision this time, like with RFK, or did we get our shit together? Did she see my clips of her that went viral? On Instagram, one of my clips with RFK and her got over 500,000 views. Maybe somebody at CNN was like, "Hey Dana, there's crazy rednecks from fucking Texas screaming about how you're reading the script. Maybe today is the day you come in and you memorize your script." Let's see.
On parents' minds. One of them
How many
is,
times she looked down?
sticker shock.
Oh, there it
One
is. Back down to reading. We've got a reader. We've got another reader in the chat,
found that
guys.
the cost of school supplies rose nearly 8%
Blah, blah, blah,
since
blah,
last
blah.
year,
I couldn't be
averaging
bothered to do
nearly
my job on the way in.
$175 per child, and the average cost of packing a school lunch
God.
is up.
Why is everybody that's running the government just slowly dying inside?
up more than 10%
not a
compared
good
to
look.
last year.
Got to
What
put
do
some
you
more
say
makeup
to
on these
parents who are struggling not just with how to manage schooling?
Oh, it
but
is. It's a blue revision. So they only revised it once here. Okay, so here's a cute inside piece of knowledge, guys. Script revisions go blue, blue, salmon, pink. No, blue, pink, salmon, green. Oh, fuck, I forgot what the rest of them are. But basically, the script she had with RFK, it went through 2 revisions. The script that she has with her, it's a blue script, so it's the 2nd revision. So they only had to reprint the script once for Dana Bash this morning.
But also
As she reads
the
it.
economic strains of it.
On the air.
Well, I think if you look at what's going on throughout the country, really, there are some price upticks, I think, but the general economy is so strong and doing so well, and I think it's...
Hey, Linda, we're doing a race today, so instead of having anybody of relevancy on, we're going to send you out to do nothing.
Students are headed back to school. Our parents should have a lot to look forward to this year. I mean, some of the work that we've been doing over the past year to make sure that...
What work? Here's the thing. Is literally when they put this lady in charge, they said the entire objective of her being in charge of the Department of Education is to tank and destroy the Department of Education and give the power back to the states. And now she's sitting on CNN doing an interview about all the work she's done the last year. Huh? I thought your job was to just not do any work. I thought that was the point of your job. Holy shit, this lady needs some eyeliner.
Parents are more in charge of the education.
Whoa, that eyeliner
going on
is
in their
crazy.
states with their children. They have more
That's
access
crazy.
to the school records.
All that money and she can't put
they
the
know that we've
eyeliner
been
on?
working very hard to make sure that children are safer in school relative to, and this stat will probably blow your mind. It did mine. 1 in 10 children, statistics show 1 in 10 children before they finish.
I'm in Canada, and trust me, the only thing to be jealous about is, as an American, is Canadian beer. Because of the embargo, you don't have any alcohol. You don't have any American alcohol. Is that what you're saying, Tugun? That it sucks that you don't have any American alcohol? I'm sorry that you're stuck in this trade war. Maybe someday we'll let you sell our cars. Are you Tugun? Are you a true Canadian, or are you just you living as an expat in French Canada? Are you a South Park character?
Sexually molested in school.
Whoa, hey,
so
chill
one
out.
of the things that we have really focused and
hey,
really
this is
driving
CNN.
on
Relax.
is looking at what is going on in schools. There were California schools that actually were reported events of this. We've been investigating
Where
it.
did that stat come from? Did you do a study at
Yes,
your department?
we did a study, and it came from
Wow, look at the women respecting the women.
the general education statistics that were
Better than
afforded to us. And
RFK,
so
that's for sure.
when
That
we looked
one
at that,
was a mess.
and we really looked at those stats coming out of California. So we said, what is really going on here in these schools? And what happens is the teachers don't get, or sometimes it's faculty. It's faculty, and sometimes
higher
the
percentage
staff
Canada.
that's working in the schools. And
Dude, fun fact about the percentage of alcohol. I would go to Utah every single January for Sundance, and in Utah, you can only buy alcohol at the state-run liquor store, and it closes at 8 p.m., and it's closed on Sundays. You can only buy alcohol at a bar if it's regulated, like in a regulated thing for how much they put in the thing. And if you buy beer at a grocery store, it's all military-grade beer, which is 2.7%. So no matter what you buy, even if you buy an IPA or something at the grocery store in Utah, every beer is 2.7% unless you go to a state-run liquor store. It was so wild. I remember that being I got Corona. It's just regular Corona. And then I'm like, oh no, this is military Corona. And it's literally says 2.7% beer, which is also crazy too that we literally mass produce different types of beer for our military at a lower alcohol volume.
Instead of firing those teachers just get sent to another school. And it's not part of their record or anything. So we have really been cracking down on that as well.
Yeah, and just as you know, parents are struggling with the economy. I know the economic indicators are better, but the affordability crisis is real. I want to talk about AI in the classroom. You issued guidance last week saying schools should evaluate AI tools based on evidence of effectiveness and learning.
You said blah, blah, blah. Dude, just get a teleprompter. Why are you reading your fucking script?
Outcomes. The tools haven't been around very long, so there are no real studies, certainly not long-term comprehensive studies. It's not possible since AI is so new.
Oh my God, what are you talking about, you fucking retard? Oh my God, Dana Bash over here being so retarded. We can't possibly encourage the children to use AI because AI hasn't been around that long. AI has been around since 1990. Technically, a fucking calculator is AI. What are you saying? Are you saying that she's encouraging ChatGPT? Because she said that she's encouraging AI tools. And now you're sitting here saying on national television, on Sunday programming, that AI hasn't been around long enough for the studies. Oh, you know what? You're right. We should do a 10 to 20 year study and then we'll allow children to use calculators in school.
new.
There you
And yet
go.
Google, for example, expanded its use of AI, Gemini, in classrooms. OpenAI just introduced ChatGPT Teens. Are you concerned that students are effectively becoming
Yeah,
sort
I
of
would be. She's going to say yeah.
guinea pigs for chatbots?
Well, I do think that what we have to make sure we're looking at is how much screen time students have in school, but what is that screen time? We want to make sure that there is effectiveness for students. And I've had the privilege of going down to Austin, Texas, to the Alpha School, and seeing how AI is really working in that particular school. The first couple of hours every day, students.
Guys, make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Send people into the algorithm by keeping the chat alive. Hit that join button. Become a comrade like Two Gun Owen. Help support the channel. Keep us independent and sponsor free. At least 3 hours a day with the news every single day. No news is news. Making fun of both the left and the right. $5 super chats. Add anybody's name to the poll of the day. $10 super chats. Remove anybody's name from the poll of the day. Halfway through our opening of our poll, JD Vance potentially going to be going up against John Ossoff in the next round.
Really have on headphones. They're in front of their computers. They're getting their subjects fed to them, with all teachers monitoring what they're doing. And the beauty of that is that a student almost has a one-on-one tutor. So the teacher can monitor to see if a child is a bit behind and repeat information for them. If a child is really excelling, then their programs get sped up a bit. So it's a great tool, to have in this particular school, and I think that's what we have to look at.
She's regurgitating the slop she's sold. That's exactly what I was saying. Is like she has a blue revised script. They had to revise the script in the morning. She couldn't even be bothered as a journalist to read her script on the way into the interview with the education secretary. She sat down and is like, "All right, time to do my job." And like Alex Wagner, she pulls out her fucking phone and is like, "Hey, Linda McMahon, it says here you're blah blah blah." Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, you're in an interview. Talk to the human. As you talk about chatbots.
Who's going to get it? How long are students going to be exposed to it? What is the outcome? And you're right. There aren't a lot of metrics available now, and I think that's what we really have to look at is these ed tech companies are introducing these new products to see what is the effectiveness. Are we seeing better outcomes in schools? And if we're not, then they should be pulled out. But I have seen it work so well in the introductions that I've seen. So,
LG, appreciate you, my guy. Welcome to the Mod Club. Don't abuse it or you lose it. Remember, mods, 5-minute timeout. Use your powers that be for whatever you want. Only a 24-hour timeout if they're doing one of 3 fundamental rule breaks. Spamming, billboarding, bunch of emojis, random shit trying to get their points across in the chat. Or death threats. Other than that, keep the chat alive. Let's keep it independent and sponsor free.
It's AI with guardrails, and as we introduce it, I think slowly in schools, it can be a very effective tool used properly.
Do you think that what you saw
Dustin,
down in Austin,
also my guy, welcome to the Mod Club.
Described,
appreciate
is
you
a proper
stopping
model?
by this Sunday.
Oh, it's working wonderfully, and they've been doing it now for a few years. And then I talked to some of the students who were there after this 2-hour block, and then the rest of the day is spent in the application of what they're learning. And so it's incredibly effective for this school.
And again, just like with RFK, she's sitting up here with no notes, no rehearsed lines, taking the question that is given to her in the moment and responding to it with intelligence. If the person you're interviewing can do that, then you would think that you as the journalist that is being given the opportunity, also guys, I used to be a production assistant for Dana Bash. If you're given this opportunity, then you would actually, in your limo or in your taxi on your way, your Uber on your way to fucking work, just look over the questions so that you can actually have a conversation. And when she says something, you can say something back other than go, "Oh, okay, well, anyway, on to the next. So Donald Trump today is at blah, blah." Like, you're not having a conversation. You're just beat by beat getting the clips. And it's so fucking infuriating. And it's the exact reason that this podcast exists. Is because, like, Joe Roganify it, Asmongoldify it, Hasan Pikerify it. Turn the clipping of the news into a long-form podcast where you watch it all the way through so you can actually see the context. The reason that people think that fucking Charlie Kirk was killed by Israel is because they watch the clips and they don't watch the debate. The reason that people think that Lindsay Clancy didn't kill her children, they watch the clips and they don't watch the actual courtroom. And then the people are told, well, I have an opinion and I should be allowed to have my opinion. Great. But you don't think that you should actually just spend like the 2 to 3 hours on your way to fucking work just listening to the actual thing before having such a strong-willed opinion about something that you don't have the time to actually look into? I'm busy. I'm a school teacher. I'm busy. I have wire connectors to fix. I can't be doing what you do, Alex. I can't just be sitting here watching the news all fucking day. As they literally have strong, hardline opinions about Charlie Kirk, strong, hardline opinions about Hayden Pennett's era, strong, hardline opinions about Lindsay Clancy. Like, you don't deserve those strong, hardline opinions because you can't just spend the 1.5 fucking hours necessary to just watch the content and then be a part of the conversation.
And I'm not saying that works
And the fucking newscasters do the same thing as my brother, as my fucking, as everybody in our lives. It's just like, duh.
Parents should be able to opt out of using AI as a teaching tool.
Okay, there you go. The response,
I certainly think that parents should be very much involved in their children's education. If they're going and they're involved and they are looking to see
that's the big tech.
what's happening with their child.
She got a big tech shoved right up her socket. I'm not going to say something bad about Mark Zuckerberg here.
I think it's up to,
because again, this is the school choice lady. This is the give the money back to the states lady. This is the everyone should be able to make their own choices lady. Dana Bash has a very simple follow-up question. Do you think that they should be able to opt out of AI? Well, I think they should have choices over their children's lives, but not choices that affect Mark Zuckerberg and my money.
the school to be able to show, okay, this is what we hope to accomplish. This is how we believe this is going to be helpful.
I'm not going to say something bad. You know it.
And let us
I know it.
The outcome.
Let's
if
move
the
on.
parent is not seeing that outcome, the parent has every right to go in and say, no, I want something different for my child.
And how are you not concerned at all about the benefits of having...
She's doing way better than she was doing with RFK. What I hate about these interviewers and these journalists is when they go right back into their paper and jump into a different subject. You should be able to look the person you're interviewing across the fucking face and be able to respond back with an articulate counter question. She has done so twice here with the AI. She's doing way better than she did with RFK.
Sort of tutorial, if you will, via AI being outweighed by the human interaction that every student, every person gets from a teacher, even if they're just monitoring there. It's not the same as actually...
It's just weird, though, to make this argument as everything at CNN is using these tools. Like every underbelly person, every production assistant working on CNN, on any of these news programs, is printing out a ChatGPT image, is ChatGPTing and condensing their news scripts. The script she's getting isn't fully written by a human on a typewriter. It's ChatGPT-ified. So it's really weird to be like, hey, don't you think that our children should not do the things that we're doing in our corporations that we hate every day? Don't you think our children should not do the things that will actually get them jobs in the future because, you know, we're doing it here and we hate it too, but we're going to keep doing it because we have to. But the school doesn't have to. They could just leave every child behind. Remember No Child Left Behind? What if we left them all behind and we just had AI at the workplace? Okay.
Learning from a human being. Is that something that you're thinking about as you continue to go around the country and think about these massive changes in policy?
Sure, and just let me, reemphasize that the Department of Education doesn't control curriculum in the classroom. But what I have seen and what I really want to be able to talk to educators about when I am touring, and I've been to 40 states now, I think that human interaction is incredibly important. So the use of AI is a balance. It is no different than...
Somebody in the chat says, in real life, Linda is an awful person. That's a really great distinguisher fact. So you're trying to insinuate that you know some sort of information that others aren't allowed to have that makes her a morally awful human being, right? She literally didn't even care about the female wrestlers at all. She knew everything. Okay, yeah, all right. Believe all women. Grab them by the pussy. Put your fucking stupid hat on and shut up.
Another new tool that's introduced in the classroom. It's how effective...
This lady went to my local high school with Erica Kirk, Genoa Kingston High School. I can't condemn that when that high school only has 480 students and it's in rural Illinois, way the fuck out in the middle of nowhere, where it's been ignored by the Chicago school districts, ignored by the major cities, ignored by the rest of the state of Illinois for years. And then she goes there with Erica Kirk and literally talks to the teachers, literally talks to the students in a very, very small town school. She's doing what she can do, at least. I also do find it funny, though, that she says she's been doing a lot of work when her whole job is to just destroy the Department of Education so that we can bring it back to the states. That's like the concept of her job. Her job is to do nothing, as she's like, we've been doing a lot. Okay.
Are the teachers being able to interact with the students and work with them? Nothing should replace that one-on-one with teachers.
Hey, let me guess this. She's evil and Hasan Piker singing Charlie Kirk, that's just funny, right? Let me guess, right? That's your ideology?
Students, because they need that. Students need to be able to communicate with each other. And they need to have that interaction.
This is an evil person we must condemn. Buys tickets to Hasan Piker Live.
They need to get out on the playground. They need to be doing all of these things that are part of their education. I think we got away from it.
One of the trends that is happening really globally is limiting, as you mentioned, screen time, and even in some places totally banning phones from school. How do you, first of all, do you think that's a good idea?
I am such a proponent of bell to bell, no cell in the classroom. And I think that we've proven that taking cell phones out of the classroom during the school day, kids can concentrate better. They have better communication with each other.
So first she's like, shouldn't they have a choice to opt out of the AI, even though it's everywhere, including inside of this interview where I read from my script that was produced by AI? Shouldn't they be able to say no to all of AI? And she's like, well, you know, that's kind of fucking ridiculous. And then she goes, also, yeah, we shouldn't have fucking cell phones in any of the schools, period. Okay, so we already know her stance then. Her stance is anti-technology in the classroom. Why are we trying to spin it into some bullshit?
They're actually enjoying conversations in the hallways again, and teachers have said to me over and over again, this has really been a great thing to take these...
I'm going to start doing this equatability to everything. Yeah, Linda McMahon is really stupid, and you know who's really smart on education? Hasan Piker.
Sort of recreational distractions, you know, away from children in the classroom. And now I think we have to think about screen time, whether are we looking at it as recreational screen time or are we looking at it as tutorial screen time? So there is a right balance to be used in the classroom, and getting rid of the recreational screen time, I'm a proponent for 100%.
I want to ask you about another move that you are pushing, and you're not the only one. The whole question of whether or not it's the right thing to push all students to college, or whether it's better for some people to attend a trade school.
I don't really know how to fucking even form this question, because I'm in downtown New York where everyone's supposed to be in college.
Plumbing, electrical work.
But now she's sitting here making the defense for trade schools? Like, okay, come on, Dana Bash. Now Dana Bash is pro-trade school.
HVAC, which you can get a job that pays very, very well. But one of the things that it seems is happening is that there is kind of a push to start students on a track as early as elementary school.
Oh, okay. So she's trying to equate it and make it what? Communism? You mean what the other side wants to do? Where you are born with what you're going to become? Now you're trying to say that's a bad thing if they want to do it in third grade?
Is that too early?
I don't think so, because I think what we can do is look at students. What are their interests? How do we direct them down a pathway that they're going to have an interest, you know, in school? And I believe that children need a well-rounded education, but I think we have focused too long for just that path to a four-year university. And sometimes we ignore what the actual skill sets of those students are. And so as I have looked at middle schools, and I've been to community colleges, and I look at the combinations and how these community colleges are working with middle schools. They have dual credits, middle schools and high schools, for skilled trades. We are really making great advances to get our skilled workforce ready to go.
Which makes sense. I mean, middle school, you know, that's maybe debatable, but elementary school, Should there just...
Well, again, even though, like, so if you're a yuppie New Yorker, you're definitely telling your kids they have to go to college from the second they're born. Now all of a sudden we're turning around and going, isn't it a little early in 3rd and 4th grade to be telling them if they want to be a drone operator, they should start now? The fuck is this?
A focus on basic critical thinking and perhaps some
right,
of
the
specific training and the path should be later in a child's schooling?
Well, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think you can have some introduction of skilled,
You still live in America, not Soviet Russia. So if you're in 4th grade and you say, I want to do the video class, and then you get into 5th grade and you're like, I don't want to do the video class, you just tell them you don't want to do the video class. We still live in America. They're like, less choice, because if you send them down the wrong path, isn't that crazy? No, you just let them change their fucking mind. Isn't that crazy?
Trades in elementary school, but everything is, you can't direct it from Washington, D.C. How does each school work? What are the needs of that community? How are parents interacting, with teachers? And I think that is so critical as to what community needs. And that's why we really want to return education to the states.
One last thing I do want to ask you about.
Yeah, she was happy she got that one in. I'm happy for it too. Because I'm fucking seeing it, it's hard to get that school choice fucking thing in, but it's true. It's fucking true. Voucher system. Fuck these guys.
Higher ed. You sent a call to action letter to university
None.
presidents
Zero.
earlier this month, urging them to
Communities fund
reform their
schools.
commitments to
Period.
fair admissions policies, free speech, and
Better
tuition
opportunity for
affordability,
black
among
and brown
others.
children.
If a university declines to respond or responds in a way that either disagrees with or is not in alignment with what you're asking, will the Trump administration again move to withhold federal funds?
Well, we're certainly going to always monitor what our universities are doing, but what I have seen is this incredible positive response to the letter. And universities saying, look, let me tell you what we're already doing. We're already doing this relative.
John Ossoff is a Jew that got $77 million from AIPAC in Georgia to run for re-election, and he called Donald Trump's assistant Donald Trump's lover or something, and so now everybody on CNN is like, Natalie, and they're all trying to pump up the first Jewish president of all time. It'll be really hilarious. All these anti-Israel people, and now they're going to vote for John Ossoff and make the first ever actual Jewish president in America. What's wrong with that? We should condemn neo-Nazis. Same time throwing their Palestinian flag up in the fucking air.
To making sure that we do have free speech on campus, making sure
I can't help you guys on some of these.
There is room for debate as we have truth seekers that are on campuses, that we are hiring, really with a view of making sure that our teachers are going to continue to foster, free speech on their campuses, but at the same time, we want to have meritocracy for students who are going into school to make sure they are ready for college.
And not trying to simply replace what you believe is kind of a one track on one side of the political aisle with another.
No. This should be totally across the aisle. In fact, the letter that I received, or the response from Governor DeSantis in Florida, was showing me that at least once a quarter at the Florida schools, they have open debates that are required, both sides of the aisle, and to really discuss issues and have the professors involved in all of that. That's what we're looking for. Open debate, open discussion. Yes, the collision of ideas is what really puts education forward. And if we just have one side or the other side, we don't have that collision, and we need it.
And
all right. Now we got Mr. Tim Scott on Meet the Press earlier today.
Now is Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. Senator Scott, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you, Chris, and thanks for having me this morning. Good Sunday morning to you.
Thank you so much for being here. Good Sunday morning to you. Let's start right there. In South Carolina, you were campaigning for Senator Darlene Graham. As you know, she got a lot of attention this week during a debate when she...
Okay, also, by the way, guys, we put that money on the man to beat Lindsey Graham's sister, because Lindsey Graham's sister had to get bailed out by Trump on Friday night, and Lindsey Graham's sister sounded like Hillary Clinton for the Republican Party. And I said, there ain't no way with all the Lindsey Clancy shit going on, we're going to actually vote for a woman right now. Our money is up. We're up to $20. We put $15 in. We're up to $20 now. We'll see what happens on Tuesday, but I think that Ralph might have a chance here of beating Lindsey Graham's sister.
She was asked about a key national security issue. I want to play it. Get your reaction on the other side. Take a look.
Are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? And if so, why or how?
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security, but I do support the military. My brother was in the Air Force for 33 years, so I will do everything I can to...
I'll support the military. I'll just blanketly give them checks because my brother was in the military for 30 years. I don't know anything about it, but I support him. What?
Support
Worst
the military.
Stupid woman response I've ever
my
seen in
dad
my life.
was in the Army. I'm not a polished
Had
politician.
to have Donald
up here.
Trump come and fucking save her
National
ass.
security is not my thing.
But as I said to just me, who also put down with me on this one, if we lose this bet, never bet against Donald Trump again. Because there's no way that this lady should win. And if she wins, it's because Donald Trump went there on Friday night and saved her ass.
Not my area of expertise, but I do support the military.
Senator Scott, is Darlene Graham qualified to be a U.S. Senator?
Well, there's no doubt, Kristen, that Darlene Graham is the real deal. One of the things I took away from Friday night's rally with President Trump did a fabulous job of making it personal. He talked about his amazing relationship with Lindsey Graham and how much time Lindsey Graham spent running around the world trying to make sure that Americans were safe here at home, but mostly abroad as well. And then he pivoted to Darlene Graham and he said some really important things. I said earlier this year, 2026 is the year of affordability. And President Trump nailed it when he said that Darlene Graham understands the issues facing Americans today and South Carolinians today, the issues of affordability. She goes to the grocery store. She understands the prices of eggs and meat and some of the challenges facing the American people. She focuses on helping people with disabilities for the last 30 years as her career. She is ready to take on the issues that everyday Americans are facing. And Kristen, one other thing that's really important, I watched her on the campaign trail. I watched her go through 2 funerals for her brother, and then I watched her carefully for 30 days in the Senate, casting deciding votes for the AG, working on getting her first bill passed, the Russia sanctions bill. What did I assess? Highly qualified, incredibly competent, ready for prime time. She's ready to tackle the issues of affordability for the American people, and she's ready to serve the great state of South Carolina in the United States Senate. I ask every Republican in South Carolina, vote Darlene Graham on Tuesday.
But Senator Scott, should a U.S. Senator have a basic understanding of national security issues?
Well, the answer is yes, and she does. The question we're asking ourselves today is whether or not she is prepared to serve in the United States Senate and represent the people of South Carolina on the issues that are germane to the moment. What are the issues of the moment, and is she prepared to hit those issues? She hits those issues spot on. She hits the target bullseye. How does she do so? Because she's been listening to people across our state for more than 30 years. She ran a state agency for 7 years. She understands the critical issues of affordability. Frankly, she's actually gotten a vote on her bill passed through the Senate, signed into law, which is more than her opponent. So what we know without question is Darlene Graham is ready to serve the United States of America starting here at home in South Carolina.
Senator, how confident are...
So, okay, guys, if you're paying attention, we have now had her fuck up on Thursday. She's Lindsey Graham's sister. She fucks up on Thursday. Donald Trump, the sitting president of the United States, flies out on Friday. And now, during the Sunday Big Five reporting papers, we have the state senator already from South Carolina vouching for her. They are doing everything they can, and she's still sitting at like 62% right now on Kelchi.
You that Darlene Graham
This will
can
be
win
crazy.
on Tuesday.
Think if she loses it because of that question. I mean, I don't feel bad because, like, Why do you think something should just be given to you? And the way that she responded on Friday night at the rally was ridiculous. She was just like attacking her opponent and saying he never worked a day in his life. And I'm like, what the fuck have you done? But at the same time, you got to feel bad that, like, I think she just wasn't thinking clearly. And she was trying to be honest. So she fumbled, and then she goes, I don't know, I support the military. And that made her look really fucking bad. And it's like, but again, we got state fucking rep right here, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, begging for a vote on the Sunday Big Five. We got Donald Trump on Friday night flying out to South Carolina. They're doing all of this for a special runoff primary to endorse her, and she's still only at like 62% on Kelce.
Very confident. It's one of the reasons why.
And the reason they don't want her to lose is because if she loses now with all of the backing of Tim Scott and Donald Trump and everything, the media from Tuesday all the way to November 3rd can run with, we're tired of Donald Trump. That's why we got rid of Lindsey Graham's sister. Not that she fumbled the question. Not that she's a woman that looks like Hillary Clinton. Not that she's a complete fucking idiot and selfish and thought she could just take 6 years of her fucking brother's job. None of that. But if she loses, it's because everyone's done with Donald Trump. And that means that the media will have a piece of proof to run 24/7 from August 25th all the way to November 3rd. Look at this. It's a referendum on Trump. It's a referendum on Trump. Trump endorses somebody and they lose. Trump endorses somebody and they lose. Even Lindsey Graham's sister lost. Not that she did it to herself, but that Daddy Trump did it to her. And that's exactly why Daddy Trump and fucking Mr. Tim Scott over here and all this shit, they're begging. They're a bunch of fucking beggars.
Waited 30 days to make sure that I felt like she was ready. I can tell you, as the senior senator for the great state of South Carolina, the person I want in the Senate with me, Darlene Graham, representing the people of South Carolina.
All right. Well,
easy choice.
Let's talk about the broader state
Of course you do. All right. Our poll of the day has ended. We're going into hour 2, everybody. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit that join button, become a comrade like Two Gun Cohen, help support the channel, become a member today. Other than that, $5 super chats, add anybody's name to the poll of the day. $10 super chat, remove anybody's name from the poll of the day. We're getting it started with hour 2. No news is news. 7 days a week, 3 hours a day, at least every single day with your news. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to know when we go live every day. Back to Tim Scott with audio for a second as I get that
Senate.
round 2 set up.
According to the Cook Political Report, 6 of the key battleground races have shifted out of Republicans' favor since April. Texas and Iowa moved from lean Republican to toss-up just this week. As chair of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, why do you think that so many of these Republican-leaning races have now moved to toss-ups?
Well, I am very confident that we will be in the majority at the end of November this year. And let me tell you why. We are facing the most dangerous, radical, and frankly, Kristen, weird Democrats I've seen in my lifetime.
Hour 2 starts.
Let's start in Texas. James Tallarico believes that God is non-binary. He's a person who's so out of step with Texans.
Right, except for the fact that the guy he's running against is a cross-eyed retard who tried to sue the federal government for January 6th and lost, made weed illegal across the entire state of Texas, supports data centers, and freed a pedophile that molested an 18-year-old boy after 28 days as the Attorney General. That's Ken Paxton. So maybe it's not about the gay retard Jesus guy, and maybe it's about the guy that's banning weed and getting pedophiles off. I don't know. Call me ignorant.
That we're seeing a coalition building
as
around
somebody that's literally going to vote for Tallarico in Texas. God, you guys can hate me right now, but right now, I am like 80% going to vote for Tallarico. It's a referendum on Ken Paxton. You're literally banning weed, saying it was a good idea. You're literally saying we need more data centers in Texas. You're literally getting pedophiles off after 28 days because they're your friend. and you have no answers to any of those questions that satisfy me, a Texas voter, and if we're in a 50-50 race, that means the 4%, the people like me, going to the polls are the ones that matter, and I'm telling you, every last one of us is voting for gay LGBT Jesus right now. We're voting for fucking Timu White Obama right now. Because cross-eyed banned weed guy ain't it.
Our candidate, Paxton, Republicans and Democrats and Independents coming together
No,
to
we're
make
not.
sure that
No,
James
we're voting him
never
out.
sees the Senate floor.
We're gonna talk-
You turn your attention to Michigan. Abdul El Sayed, the same kind of dangerous radical.
Answer me, why is an 18-year-old man pedophile? He's not an 18-year-old man. There's a 38-year-old attorney that molested an 8-year-old boy and went to prison for 28 days and then was let off by the Attorney General at the time, Ken Paxton. The exact same story as Florida with Epstein. Are we going to literally vote in a guy that's giving the same sweetheart deals as Epstein in Texas? And can't answer that question when there's a press release about it. Can't answer a question about a data center because he's bought by data centers. Can't answer a question about the anti-weed lobby because he's the one that funded and created the anti-weed lobby that now has every Delta 8, everything except for CBD, completely banned in the state of Texas, as I hold a nicotine vape in the flavor of frozen mint watermelon. The logic has went out the window, and so yeah, I will be voting for the gay, retard, Jesus, LGBTQ guy, because at least his logic makes more sense, which is if you're going to sell frozen watermelon nicotine, then get the fuck out of my goddamn back pocket about my weed.
Weird candidate. They're all over the country. We feel really good about where we are. And if you want to go back to Iowa, we have Ashley Henson, a strong, powerful candidate running very strong in her state. And on the other
Literally
side, we
runs
have
from
Josh
questions. Yes, he
Turek,
does.
who has never...
He literally runs from questions. And here's the thing, is I'm somebody that does not think that January 6th was an insurrection. I'm somebody that thinks that the Supreme Court should have taken the cases up for the election interference in 2020. And Ken Paxton brought out a baseless lawsuit like a retard, and every legal analyst shut him down, and he pretty much destroyed anyone's ability to sue over the 2020 election. Ken Paxton is the reason that all the Democrats get to say, oh, you just got a bunch of weird My Pillow guys over here. He is that. He's the weird My Pillow guy. Why are we going to put that guy in fucking charge of the Senate? In Texas on top of it? And what he wants to do is build more data centers and ban more weed? Get more pedophiles off? Fuck up another January 6th case so that no one can sue? Fuck up another election interference case so that we look like a bunch of retards when there's genuine questions out there because you don't know what the fuck you're doing? Fuck Ken Paxton.
Never seen a tax
He has never been even a
he
Republican.
didn't
He's a
like. We're
fucking
talking
retard.
about someone willing to take resources out of the pockets of people working.
And the weed argument, it's like you can say, like I could even say, it does me better. Like, okay, I don't buy weed illegally. I'm not under 30, so I don't care to like find a friend and get myself weed or whatever. I can just move on with my life. But now I'm literally buying frozen watermelon nicotine. Make it make sense. So an 18-year-old can buy frozen watermelon nicotine, but a Delta 8, non-flavored, no fucking menthol, no nicotine, no cancerous materials, is something that we need to ban for people even over the age of 21. Make it make sense. Like, it just doesn't.
We're talking about
and
someone
to stand
who
on
believes
that while you're
raising
running for
taxes
Senate?
will help.
Good luck,
people
my guy.
in Iowa.
Good luck.
Meet their needs.
Let's talk
and buy
about
their
some.
groceries.
But I
Just
think
out of
gay
step.
Jesus
Let's
is
talk
gonna
about
win.
some of these
I think
states that you
trans Jesus
just
is
raised.
gonna
Let's
win.
start in Texas. Democrat James Tallarico, as you just said, facing off against Ken Paxton. Paxton has faced allegations of bribery, fraud, abuse of power. He was impeached by his own party. You endorsed Senator John Cornyn in the primary against Paxton. So why do you now believe Ken Paxton has the character to serve in the U.S. Senate?
Well, I can tell you this. What we know with great clarity is that James Tallarico does not have the character to serve in the United States Senate, nor does he have the right position on the issues that Texans care most about. I'll say it very clearly, and I'll say it again. James Tallarico is out of step, completely out of step.
What does James Tallarico going to do that is out of step with Texas voters? I'm the Texas voter. I'm the 4%. Your polls are at 50-50. Your Kelchi's at 50-50. I'm your 4%. I'm the educated 4%, giving my audience the ability to have this as well if you're sitting in the state of Texas. Give us your pitch. If you don't want to talk about Ken Paxton, that's fine. Tell me why, as a Texas voter, James Tallarico is bad for me. Give me his exact policy or stance that is bad for me as a voter, that will make me have to vote for the other guy, even though he's being arrested by his own party, he's being investigated for fucking letting pedophiles off, he's arresting people for fucking weed charges, and he wants every data center to cover up every piece of empty land in all of Texas. Please, I'll vote for all of it if you can explain to me what's so out of step about Tallarico.
With Texans.
But does Paxton have the character to serve? He was impeached by his own party.
Raise the taxes.
By his own party.
Kristen,
he'll raise taxes.
At the end of the day, the contrast is clear.
I don't have a job. I don't even pay taxes, bro. Like, hello, I'm the 4%. Tell me what he's going to do. And how is he raising taxes? He's raising taxes because healthcare, right? Okay.
James Tallarico will not be the senator for Texas.
Yes, he will. And you just let him on one of the big 5 programs less than 2 fucking months because you can't say why you hate the guy and you also can't say why you're defending your guy. You're standing here just demanding that I vote your way cuz. Your answer is just cuz. And this is how you lose an election, people. This is how you lose a Senate seat in the state of Texas. Just because. That's why we won't vote for the guy that went on Joe Rogan while Ken Paxton can't go on Joe Rogan. Just cuz.
And there are a host of reasons from his position on the faith to his position.
Okay. So me, as a Christian that thinks that you shouldn't be involved in government with Christianity, somebody that believes that we shouldn't be cheering on Charlie Kirk, that we should, incarcerate every single furry across the planet. We should, make sure that everyone that is LGBTQ takes a test and gets institutionalized if they're crazy. Somebody that removes all SSRIs. And your vague statement about Tallarico is that he's sort of gay, kind of?
On taxes to his position on boys playing against girls in sports.
There you go, yeah. I'm going to go out and I'm going to vote for the cross-eyed weirdo that got fucking investigated by his own party, fucked up the 2020 election, fucked up the January 6th case, banned weed, wants to transplant fucking data centers everywhere, got a pedophile off in 28 days. And I'm going to do all of that because this guy's out of step with the WNBA. All right. Cool fucking story, bro.
We know with great certainty is that we will keep Texas red to the roots.
You don't, bro.
All right, let's talk
great
about certainty?
State. Do I have to do this? Like the arrogance of this statement. Texas Senate. Bro. Texas Senate winner. Right now. Look at this. It's fucking 52.6% to 47.4%. It's not even worth betting on. August 14th, Tallarico up by 2%. You Republicans love the money. There's $9 million in this pot. Money talks, right? There's no way as he continues to close the gap from fucking January right up until the election. There's no way. Okay, so did Hillary Clinton said the same thing. Nice fucking try.
State that you raised, another big state, Michigan, the face-off between Democrat Abdul El-Sayed and former Congressman Mike Rogers. The NRSC continues to put out social media posts claiming that Abdul El-Sayed has quote-unquote terrorist ties, and yet there is no evidence that he has terrorist ties. Senator, should the NRSD stop running those ads?
Well, we know without question.
Here's the thing, is like these guys are such idiot grifters, they have nothing left to even promise us. But the media continuing to do the media thing of trying to cancel the idiot that can't answer a question is making me want to vote for the idiots again. Like, should you be condemning the entire GOP for tweeting out that El Sayed might be tied to the Muslim Brotherhood? There's no proof he was tied to the Why do we care? We don't care. And now you're going to go down a rabbit hole where I end up voting against anybody that's anti-Muslim. You're ruining your own chances as Democrats. Let the idiots talk. This buffoon just told me that it doesn't matter. I'm going to vote for Ken Paxton anyway. Now you're making the point for him that I should vote for Ken Paxton.
Question that he had family members who helped resource Osama bin Laden.
That's the problem, is you're like letting him build the narrative now. You're like, there is no proof that he is tied to the Muslim Brotherhood. Then this guy's going to spout the fucking proof, and now there's this speculative story. Are they racist? Are they not? But the media would never lie to you like they did the last 18 fucking years. Like, it's like, dude, we already don't trust the media. So why are you trying to condemn and cancel things based on proof? Shut up and let the idiots talk. If you just shut up and let this idiot talk, Tallarico would be a senator. And instead you're like, will you condemn the Muslim Brotherhood and the proof of the blah, blah, blah? Shut the fuck up. You're giving them the case for them to win elections.
We know without question that he campaigns with Piker, who said at one point.
Again, so it's the same thing as Donald Trump. We know that he goes with Mr. Bush, and he goes on that bus and he condemns people and he grabs them by the pussy. And he grabs them by the pussy. It's the same shit in reverse. Why do you think that we want the cancel culture? We don't. We're not cancel culture. We're done with the Jew shit. We're not doing the Jewish fucking cancel culture shit. It doesn't work for the media. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't work, period.
That America deserved 9/11.
Let's stay focused on Al Sayed, though. Let's stay focused on Al Sayed and what he has said and believed.
But why? But why? Why are you trying to make this senator condemn somebody on the opposite side? All you're going to do is give him room to talk and explain how actually he has proof of these things. You're literally giving them the elections with your cancel culture Jew shit.
Birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together.
Okay, great. Then Bush and Donald Trump are sitting there grabbing people by the pussy. Birds of a feather flock together? Are we really going to... Okay, so then Donald Trump had Thanksgiving with Kanye West and Nick Fuentes. Does that mean that Donald Trump endorses everything that Nick Fuentes and Kanye West speak of? Because in your cancel culture fairyland, they do. I'm done. I'm done with the fucking... Stop the cancel culture. This is so retarded.
The company you keep does matter. We all know that. That's something we learn in elementary school.
Ironic. So ironic saying
stands
that.
On the issues, though. There's a reason why even former Biden administration folks are joining with Republicans and hosting fundraisers throughout Michigan to support Mike Rogers.
He's ruined
Here's one of the reasons
state
why.
elections in
We've
one
got a
fucking
candidate,
sit-down. He's only been on the air for 8 minutes. He's ruined fucking Lindsey Graham's sister's chances. He destroyed fucking Ken Paxton's chances. And now, I mean, he's doing okay with the El Sayed thing because now he's getting to do the whole like, oh, aren't we scared of Muslims or whatever? So like, they're kind of like trying to cancel him over El Sayed. So, but again, he's even doing bad with that one because he's like, the people you're associated to are you. Okay, well, Donald Trump has ties to Nazis then. Like, we've been trying to fight this for 10 years, 11 years, my guy. And now you're turning around and you're telling me that whoever you associate to is you after trying to prove to me for 11 years that that's not true? Insane.
Abdul El Sayed, who wants to abolish ICE. He wants to defund the police. Here's a candidate so radical that even Democrats in Michigan are joining forces for the first time with Republicans to elect Mike Rogers.
Just to be very clear, there is no evidence that al-Sayed supports any terrorist organization. I just want to read this. A Washington Post analysis online found that, quote, nearly 1 in 3 posts about al-Sayed from right-wing figures...
Again, you're trying to condemn him. You're losing the election for al-Sayed when you're saying condemn him. You got the fucking Lindsey Graham sister taken care of. You tanked Ken Paxton's numbers because you let this guy talk. And then you're going to literally stand up here and tell this senator that he has to condemn somebody running on a national ticket who was born here because of some dumb shit. And then the motherfucker's like, actually, he's tied to Hasan Piker. It's like, nobody can
mention Islam, Muslims, or Sharia.
Everybody's a retard.
Are Republicans trying to scare voters based on the fact that al-Sayed would be the first Muslim senator?
Sure, condemn him.
Not at all. What we're more concerned about and only concerned about is the positions he has spoken about. He's the one.
There you go. Now you're going to give him an opportunity. This is what I'm saying. I don't understand why they don't understand their own logic. They've been trying to do it for 11 years now, where it's like, condemn this point. All right, then the voting public votes against you. If the media tells you to condemn something and you say, no, I'm not going to condemn it, and then say something opposite of condemning it, immediately the American public loves you. And after 11 years of trying to condemn Donald Trump's every action, you would think that the media would stop trying to tell people they need to condemn other people. You would think they would stop the elitist fucking Jew, Muslim bullshit, MSM bullshit that they got going here. It doesn't work.
Said he was committed to Sharia law.
Work.
No one else said that besides Abdul El-Sayed. He's the one that said he wanted to eliminate much of the national security apparatus that protects America. At the same time, he campaigns with Piker, who says America deserved 9/11.
And we should say al-Sayed did denounce that on this program. Al-Sayed did denounce those comments.
And he continues to campaign with them anyways. You can't denounce it with your words and do something.
I think it's going to get really fucking wonky here, guys, with these midterms, because we're going to go to the polls in a minute here, and CNN talking about how it's all about who hates who more now and everything, because a lot of people have given up on voting. And so it's turned into this 50-50 toss-up on every single election, which means it's going to come down to the educated 4% independent voter and where they swing. But I hate that she's telling him to condemn the Muslim, and I also hate his response of, it's not about him being Muslim, it's about him being attached to Hasan Piker. They're both trying to use cancel culture to get my vote. So if I'm a Michigander, 4% independent, highly educated, watching the Big Five news programs, plus 65er at home, deciding if I'm going to go right or left this election cycle, you got two sides of the same coin, both trying to cancel each other. Where the fuck do we go from here?
Different with your actions. We believe what you do.
They're both really stupid for this.
I do want to talk to you about a major issue that's emerging in the midterms, AI data centers. President Trump has weighed in on this a number of times, including on Wednesday. I want to play a little bit of what he had to say. Take a look.
If I were the mayor of a town or the governor of a state and I had a chance to get a big plant in, an AI plant or a data center, I would absolutely want it.
Do Republicans want...
Right, and I'm not sure what the rest of that statement was because, of course, they cut it off, and I hate that kind of shit. That's why we do the show the way we do the show. Double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe, y'all. But the one thing that I said on another show, which was the data centers work in one state, West Virginia. The data centers work in West Virginia. Why? They work in West Virginia because West Virginia is not having any state income tax because of the data centers. So it benefits the actual population. Here are the big 5 areas that want data centers right now and why they can't get them. Chicago, New York, LA. California, Illinois, and New York. None of these 3 states can get it passed. Why? Because they're deeply blue states that survive off of state income tax. They literally survive off of city income tax. They make so much money off of state income tax, there's no way they could get rid of it. Then the other two you have on the Republican side, Texas and Florida, there already is no state income tax. So how are you going to benefit us? You going to tell me I don't have to pay for the fucking toll road? No, you're going to just build them anyway because there's a bunch of land here, right? Well, then fuck you. Because you're going to have to benefit me or you're not going to get what you fucking want. This doesn't benefit us. This benefits you. And if you want something to benefit you, then you need to benefit us, like West Virginia is doing. You need to give a benefit to us. It's that easy. But instead, everybody's like, well, actually, China, and actually, well, let's see if we can get a bunch of fucking retards to vote our way anyway.
Want to be the pro-data center party, Senator?
Well, we know that the Democrats, the Governor Shapiro, was for data centers as well. What we know with a question, I wrote an op-ed, Kristen, about a month ago on the importance of data centers paying their own way, paying for their own electricity, paying for their own water usage.
No. Give me money. I want money. If you can't give me money, you and your fucking guy don't get to go build a fucking building and make a bunch of money off of me. You're already making money off of me. You're already taking home 55% of the ad revenue for this live stream. You're already taking 30% of any tips that I get in this live stream. You're already taking 2% of anything that any of us do as a transaction on PayPal. You're already taking everything from us constantly. You're already using all of that information to literally sell our data. And I'm not over here Bernie Sanders like, oh, actually, it's a collection of our data, so actually you should give us a bunch of money for it, please. No, but fuck you building your fucking building and not giving me shit and telling me that it benefits me. It doesn't. It doesn't. It benefits you, the lobbyist, and it benefits the company that's lobbying. And until I see something on paper that shows me that I'm getting a benefit, then no, you're no. The end, no.
And
Fuck
only
off,
going
no.
to communities
Fuck off, no.
that want.
We'll also get into this later. There's a Fox News segment that was dropped last night. Pro flock camera Fox News segment, guys. Pull up pro flock camera news segment on Fox News. I'm just like, go fuck yourself. No flock cameras. Actually, no traffic cameras. Actually, no fucking toll cameras. Actually, no data centers. And if you want to keep fucking going, then we'll stop making you be allowed to build a fucking skyrise in any fucking city. I don't give a fuck. You will give me a benefit or you will fuck off, you stupid shilling lobbyist.
But we also know that
give us some
Democrats are
APAC
being
money.
used
Absolutely.
as pawns for this disinformation campaign.
And you can't tell me that you can't do it because West Virginia is doing it. 30% of the empty land in West Virginia is being housed for data centers that are being built up to 2030. And they've already subsidized the state income tax by 50%, and they're saying by 2028 they won't have any. Benefit the people or fuck off. That's it.
Run by China.
It's not that hard.
To make
no one in West Virginia is saying no to the data center. They even went over there and they interviewed them. I saw a video yesterday that was people trying to interview people in West Virginia about it. And they were like, it's kind of noisy. It kind of sounds like an airport, but it's fine. Because you're giving them 50% off their fucking taxes. And you're telling them that you're going to get rid of the other 50% by next year. These people work at fucking Burger King. And you are taking their money. And now you're not going to take their money. Wow. And now they don't give a fuck about your giant big building that you want to build for yourself. But no, you don't get to build it for fucking free and tell me that it's actually the gay furries that are after me or China's coming or, oh, look at this guy dressed up as Mao singing about Charlie Kirk. Doesn't it get you angry? Go fuck off. No data centers, no flock cameras, period. The end until you pay me.
Sure that China wins the AI future instead of
China.
America.
China.
We absolutely have to make sure that data centers only go to communities that want them, and they pay their own way. And that is a critical issue that we need.
Somebody in the chat says, hashtag West Virginia, do you know what happens when there's no water? Wrong argument. Wrong argument. There are hydroplane facilities that are data centers, but most of them are happening in Arizona and California. Ironically. Isn't that fucking ironic? The ones that take up the most water are the ones they're trying to build in Arizona and California off of the Colorado River that is literally drying up. Meanwhile, the ones that are being built in West Virginia are cheaper, smaller, simpler data centers that don't produce as much power, but somehow still got every single state fucking person in the entire state 50% off their state income tax. How is that? You built a shittier data center and they got 50% off. But you're trying to convince everybody in Illinois, everybody in California, everybody in New York, everybody in Florida, and everybody in Texas to just take a giant ram up their fucking ass for you, the lobbyist. Fuck you.
To make sure it remains front and center for the country to watch as it unfolds before our very eyes.
Well, on that point, in Ohio, the NRSC, in a private memo, called data centers, quote, the anchor hanging around Republican Senator John Husted's neck.
It's just so stupid. It's so stupid how they're grifting this. They both want the data centers. They both want the data centers. Everyone wants the data centers. And all you have to do is come in here and say, this is what I'll give you. I would like to build the data center for me and my friends, please, and this is what we'll give you. We're going to actually make sure that every fire department has a new fire truck if we can build this data center. Sound good, guys? The end. Hey, we're going to give new guns to the entire police department, and we're going to make sure that there are 17 more ambulances in this city if you allow us to build this data center. The end. But instead you're like, actually China, actually da-da-da. Hey, Chicago. Hey, New York. Hey, fucking LA. Hey, fucking Austin. Hey, fucking Orlando. Ready to get fucked? Ready to get fucked in the ass by me? The fucking lobby guy for the fucking data center? Meanwhile, they're like, on Meet the Press, actually, data centers are really hard for Republicans because we know Democrats want to save the water. Fuck off. You're all getting shilled out by the same fucking corporation.
Support and his history of
you're trying to win an election off of something that you're stealing from us?
That Senator Husted could
burn
lose
AI facts.
Ohio because of his past support of data centers?
I don't. I can tell you one thing about Ohioans. They are sick and tired.
I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of this guy. This guy's from South Carolina. He has now spoken for everyone in the state of Texas. He is now speaking for everyone in the entire state of Ohio. He knows. He's not the president. He's not even in the executive branch. He doesn't even have a nationwide fucking role. He's a senator for a state. And he's over here fucking telling all the other states what he knows they think like. Okay, dumbass.
Sherrod Brown. It's why they kicked him out of office just a few years, 2 years ago. And what we'll see this time is the most radical, dangerous candidate in Ohio being Sherrod Brown, who voted literally against cutting taxes for single mothers like the one that raised me. Sherrod Brown is so inconsistent with Ohio.
Oh, wow, you were raised off a tax credit, you broke-ass black guy? Broke-ass black guy over here from South Carolina raised off of tax credits. What are you even saying, you Nimrod?
In office,
did your mom raise you, or did the tax credit raise you? Also, you're a senator that makes hundreds of thousands of dollars. Fix your fucking teeth.
It says enough is enough.
How are you gonna put a fucking suit on but have those teeth? How are you gonna have a suit on but have those teeth in 2026? How are you gonna have a suit on but have those teeth? Come the fuck on. Get yourself some dentures at least, dude.
They're not bringing him back We're excited about where
Make
we
you
are
relatable
in Ohio,
with your
and we will
snaggle
continue
tooth?
to move the map in the right direction for the rest of this cycle.
I have to ask you about the number one issue for voters. It is the economy. After trade talks fell apart.
Guys,
with Canada,
double tap,
they're
hit
now
that like button, hit subscribe, everybody. Hit that join button and become a comrade. Help support the channel. Keep us independent and sponsor free. We do the news 7 days a week, 3 hours at least, every single day. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can see when we go live every single day with the news. Treating the news like pro wrestling, making fun of the left and the right, all the way through the midterms, all the way through the presidential election of 2028. $5 super chats, add anybody's name to our poll of the day. $10 super chat, remove anybody's name from the poll of the day. Help support the channel, keep us independent and sponsor free. Right now, we are tied. JD Vance, 50%. John Ossoff, the first Jewish president. So again, you guys hate Israel so much that you're either going to vote for the number one funder of AIPAC, JD Vance, with 50%, or the first ever Jewish president, John Ossoff, with also 50%. You guys can't decide in the chat which Jew you want to support here, which form of Israel we're ready to give the bombs to. All hail Lockheed Martin.
50% tariffs on
Half an hour left
$20
in
billion
the poll.
worth
Get
of
your vote in
Canadian
now.
products set to go into effect. Back in 2018, Senator, you said you're concerned, quote, that tariffs will amount to nothing more than a tax on South Carolina families. Do you acknowledge that these new tariffs will cost Americans?
What I can tell you without question is President Trump is laser focused on protecting.
Gersh, if you would vote for Ossoff, are you anti-Israel? Or are you like pro-Israel? Because this is the part that I find very ironic. Because I feel like people are going to vote for John Ossoff because he's fighting the Nazis. But then at the same time, they're going to show up to the John Ossoff parade with their Palestinian flag, voting in the first ever Jewish president of the United States of America. With the most AIPAC funding ever. Both of the people that we have in the chat right now would be the two candidates out of the top 26 that are on the Kelchi poll. These two candidates would take the most money collectively, both from AIPAC. We're all anti-AIPAC, and then we merge down to the top two contenders. $77 million for a Senate race from AIPAC, or the Vice President of the United States during Donald Trump. Like, can we get away from this, or are you guys just
union worker in Detroit?
If you're anti-Israel, then why are you voting for the
South
Jewish
Carolina?
guy?
The one thing we have in President Trump is a president who is
Are you
focused
not anti-Israel?
on protecting American jobs against
That makes sense,
unfair
then.
practices. And
If you're a Democrat, if you're like an institutional Democrat, that makes sense to vote for John Ossoff, honestly. But like, if you're like one of these people that's like, end super PACs, end AIPAC, end the Jewish lobby, and mainstream media, down with tyranny, and then you guys literally prop up JD Vance and John Ossoff.
we see that working out for us today. We see more Americans working today than in the history of America. And being home on Friday night with President Trump and Darlene Graham, the one thing we talked about was the issue of affordability. This is a really important issue, and that's one of the reasons why.
Did Israel buy Kentucky? You'll have to ask Mitch McConnell. He's not answering the phone right now.
We are so encouraged by
not answering
President
the phone
Trump
right
creating
now.
more jobs in America. Kristen, listen, we've seen, according to President Trump's numbers, over $19 trillion of investment in America to build factories, to bring jobs home, because he's created headwinds for other countries.
But I'm talking about costs, Senator. I'm talking about costs. And American families are also paying more in the wake of President Trump's taxes and tariffs. In fact, Senator Susan Collins of Maine said this: if the administration proceeds with these tariffs, they will increase costs for Maine families, as most businesses will have no choice but to pass on the tariffs to their customers through higher prices. Is she right, particularly given that we have seen that in the past, given the president's tariffs?
Yeah, Two-Gun, I mean, this is, as an international, as a Canadian, this is your fantasy. J.D. Vance and John Ossoff. There is no choice. Israel must prevail. Israel must prevail.
Well, Kristen, you're talking about a
John
really
Ossoff
important
versus
issue
J.D.
of
Vance.
costs. Let's look back at the original sin of cost in America.
The original sin of cost in America? Bro, you don't even know what you're saying anymore. This guy don't even know what he's saying anymore. No wonder they put this guy out on Meet the Press the day they were going to fucking run a race through DC. They're like, you can go talk to Meet the Press. Go save Darlene Graham. Go save. And then Donald Trump looks at the clip and he's like, this guy just ruined Ken Paxton's chances. How did he do this in 10 minutes?
Years it goes to Joe Biden, who took inflation up 21%.
President Trump has been in office for 2 years.
While he was president.
Hold on, Senator. President Trump's been in office for 2 years.
Let me finish. President Trump has brought inflation from a sky-high 21% over the Biden years down to under 5%, and right now hovering near 4%.
Wait, inflation was at 3%
right
when
direction,
President Biden left office. It's at 3.4% right
I'm
now.
sorry.
And the average house...
Bro's like, it was 30% and he brought it down to 5%. She's like, actually, it ended at 3.4 and it's now at 3.2. I was just asking that question to see if you were paying attention.
Household has paid $1,000.
It's actually the same, and the number is lower than what you equated his lowest number to be, you dumbass.
25 due to the tariffs, Senator.
Let's not forget the truth. The truth tells a great story. On the first piece of legislation in 2021, the Inflation Reduction Act that we should all laugh at took inflation to 9% in July of 2021.
Again, as she said, the inflation number when he left office was 3.4. It is currently 3.2.
Accumulate the weight of inflation.
9, 17, 35, 15,
$1,100
5.
Of
He brought
lost
it to
spending
7.
Power. President Trump inherited a weak economy and has built a resilient, strong economy with our wages going up and our costs flattening. Finally, every single Democrat in the Senate voted. This is really important, Kristen. Voted to take money out of the pockets
not let this guy out of the house
senior
again.
citizens last year.
Lock up Tim Scott until after the midterms. Oh my God. Talk about not being able to do damage control. They thought this guy was going to come out here and save the day, and he just made 3 statewide Senate races way easier for Democrats.
To stop helping people working overtime.
This is like literally the worst spokesman they could have chosen.
To take money, not out of the rich people.
And the only reason he got it was because, again, they got to try to get Darlene Graham over the finish line. That's the only reason this is even happening. And this guy is fucking up El Said's a terrorist. It's about who you associate to. Cancel him. The inflation was 20%, and now it's 7%. Actually, it was 3%, and it's still 3%. Like, what the fuck are you doing,
working
dude?
class waitresses.
But hold on.
I'll tell you, the people of Ohio, they want that fucking data center. Why do they want it? I'll tell you, that's the way it's going to be. Huh? What the fuck are you saying?
Senator, these are the facts. When President Trump took office, inflation was at 3%. It's now at 3.4%. Gas prices are over 4%.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. The guy can't pay attention to the simple number. You could have destroyed him with that. Instead, you inflate your story yourself. You're like, and then the gas prices and the affordability crisis. And then he gets to answer the question and go, you're just woke. You're just crazy. Look, she's talking about affordability again. It's this fairy number. It's a stupid fucking blah, blah, blah. And the reality is that if she just said that, she goes, it was 3% and it's now 3.4%. And then just stopped talking. She'd get a lot further with this idiot, because he wouldn't be able to say much, but she's going to rattle off some more dumb shit.
Dollars a gallon, up over $1 from a year ago. President Trump's tariffs have cost American households nearly $2,000. He promised he was going to bring prices down on day one. Did he break that promise? Prices have gone up.
Well, good news is you don't disagree with the fact that Joe Biden brought 21%.
What? Dude, what? Man, this guy's really bad. She even teed him up on that one. I thought that was going to be an easy one for him. She teed him up, and he's still an idiot.
extra cost on the American families. We do.
But we're not talking about Joe Biden, though. The Biden administration is over. This is the Trump. We're 2 years into the Trump administration.
It's a contrast, Kristen.
You think we didn't go through Bidenflation? Yeah, I do. I think we did go through Bidenflation, and then I think that it was 3%, and it was 3.4% now. So if I was Tim Scott, I would say, all right, if it's 3.4% and he came in at 3%, what makes you think that 0.4% is worth a national discussion on Meet the Press? That's what I would respond with, not Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. I guess you don't agree with Joe Biden, bro. What?
At the end of the day, the American people need to see the contrast, and the good news is they're seeing the contrast. We're seeing the most dangerous, radical, weird candidates coming out of the Senate from the Democrats, and we're going to have a chance to let the American people tell us which party they prefer. I am betting not only on Republicans.
He's betting now. So now he's a gambling man. You hear that, South Carolina? You have a senator that's gambling on the election.
Betting on us staying in the majority and even having a shot at increasing the majority.
Senator, President Trump himself says he owns this economy. Is this now the Trump economy? He's been in office for 2 years. We're not talking about Joe Biden. We're talking about President Trump. He's the guy in office.
There's no doubt. I want to make sure that the voters have the clear picture of more than just 18 months in office. The fact that
I want them to understand the clear picture of what happened 7 years ago. What? You just said it's been 18 months. Take put a different spin on it, my guy. My God.
That what precedes the 18 months matters, and then the 18 months also matters, and that's one of the reasons why when you look at President Trump making sure that working class Americans have more money, more of their own money to spend.
And how are you going to do that?
That's a good thing. Democrats voting
We're
against
having
that.
More money to spend.
All right, Senator, again.
Hey guys, you're going to have more money to spend with Republicans. Why? Because of TrumpRx.com. You're going to have more money to spend in your paycheck because of AOC and the Democrats and the DSA. Why? Because free health care. Neither one of those things give you any more money. They just fix problems they should have fixed years ago. Double tap, hit that like button, guys. We were 1 like away from 100.
Yeah,
hit that
inflation
like
was at 3% when President Trump took office. It's at 3.4% now. Very quickly, though, before I let you go, you ran for president back in 2024. Do you rule out another run in 2028?
I'm running for re-election in 2028. I am thankful that the great state of South Carolina has afforded.
He's like, I got to try to keep my job right now, and you're not doing a very good job at it, sir.
Me the opportunity to continue to serve in the United States Senate this far, and I certainly pray that they will allow me to do so in 2028.
Do you rule out running for president, though?
I have no intention on running for president in 2028. I have every intention.
He literally said that. He said, I'm literally running for a re-election in 2028.
Intention of making sure that whoever wins the nominee gets the full support, not only of Republicans, but of some Democrats and independents. It's time to unite this country around the great opportunity party, and we have the issues and the positions that are consistent with the vast majority of the American people. It's time to go sell our message.
All right, Senator Scott, please come back. Keep us posted between now and the midterms. We really appreciate your joining us. Thank you so much.
Fix your fucking teeth, bro.
Thank you, Kristen.
Pay you for no reason. Fix your fucking teeth.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated.
God. Next up, we got Chris Van Hollen. Says he won't reject DSA
Welcome
endorsements on Meet the Press.
You mean now is Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland.
I don't even know who this guy
Senator
is.
Van Hollen, welcome.
He's like, I came out of my coffin to talk to you guys today.
It's great to have you here in person. Thank you so much. Let's dive into the primaries. Angie Nixon, a member of the Democratic Socialists of America, scored an upset win in Florida, as you know. This week, it comes after progressive Abdul Al-Sayed, who we were just talking about, narrowly won in Michigan. You, of course, used to run the Democratic Senate campaign arm. Do you believe Democrats are making an already tough Senate map more difficult by electing candidates who are part of the left wing?
No, I don't. First of all, Democrats are absolutely united in recognizing that President Trump is a threat to our economy and a threat to our democracy. What you're seeing is a churning, a debate within the Democratic Party that's more focused on what the Democratic Party needs to stand for in 2028. And I don't think this is left versus right. I think this is the top 1% that is rigging the economy in their favor at the expense of everybody else. So these are economic populists.
Race war for
and the
money.
debate within the Democratic
What
Party
we're in,
is
my
going
guy.
to be
We're already
healthy
there.
going forward. In this midterm, it's a referendum on Donald Trump. I listened to Senator Scott. He wanted to talk about Joe Biden. He did not want to talk about Trump. He talked about affordability. Let's remind people that Donald Trump said that the affordability crisis was, quote, a hoax, and broke his promise to focus on bringing down prices and keep
Who
us on
are
the
you
wars.
and
He's done
what
the
coffin
opposite.
did you come out of?
Let's delve a little deeper into this debate that you referenced inside the Democratic Party. Florida Congressman Jared Moskowitz fended off a DSA-backed challenger in his district, and he's taking a very different view of Democratic Socialists of America. Here's what he said about DSA members likely to join Congress next year. He writes, quote, they're anti-American at their core. People who have said anti-American things and have said things that are pro-Russia and pro-China. Should they really get a security clearance, he asks? Do you think the Democratic Socialists have a place in the Democratic Party, Senator?
Yes, they do, as part of the debate. And in this upcoming election, candidates can be very clear about where they strongly disagree with the DSA, which is probably on most issues. But they can also talk about their own plans. So, I'm not afraid to debate. I think that those in the Democratic Party who are afraid of a healthy debate are missing the point, because voters, including Democratic voters, they don't want to simply return to the pre-Trump status quo. They want Democrats who are going to stand for something. And I can strongly disagree with one set of Democrats. But I think that debate is healthy.
Well, OK, talking about the debate, let's talk about the DSA platform. It calls for, in part, replacing the president and Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by and subordinate to Congress, and, quote, to abolish the Senate, the chamber, of course, in which you serve. Do those ideas go too far for you?
Yes, of course they do, for me. And I think a lot of
And the reason we're talking about them on Meet the Press is to alleviate the concerns of every grandma over the age of 65 that's watching Sunday morning programming right now, getting ready to vote as a Democrat from a major institutionalized Democrat city like Chicago, New York, or LA. And they voted Democrat their entire lives as a grandma. And now they have you in their corner saying, oh, what a ridiculous, silly thing. I guess we can look past it.
folks who are running, regardless of where they are on the Democratic.
And it's okay to condemn it as well while still endorsing it, because it's in Florida, and she's not going to win in Florida anyway. So, yeah. I know that the lady wants to come into the Senate and disassemble the Senate, but that's just silly. Okay, well, I guess we can vote for Democrats again.
Spectrum have rejected those ideas. And so I think when you look at the Democratic Party right now, you're looking at a party that, again, is incredibly united when it comes to making sure we're out there, standing up for working people.
DSA wants you to have affordable health care. Tea Party wants you to die. Big difference. No. DSA wants you to have health care because they keep paying into a system and they're $40 trillion in debt and they need to fix their health care, so free health care. And the Tea Party wants to bomb Iran. And I see no difference. I see literally no difference. Would you like to keep bombing Iran, or would you like free health care? I'd like neither. I'd like a paycheck. I'd like neither. I'd like a stimulus check. I'd like neither. I'd like a benefit from one of these data centers, please. I'd like neither. I'd like my bananas to be 30% off with a QR code like Mr. Mondani in New York. Come on, my guy.
We need to end this war in Iran, which is driving up prices. And the reason that Senator Scott didn't want to talk about this election and the issues and didn't want to talk about Trump's record is because you have a rubber stamp Republican Senate and rubber stamp Republican candidates who simply want to do Donald Trump's bidding.
Okay. And what are you here to do? Well, we're not going to disassemble the Senate. We're just going to give you health care instead.
Quickly, would you accept an endorsement by the DSA?
I would not I'm not going to sort of look into all these endorsements. I'm not going to reject an endorsement.
Do you want wars in data centers or do you want wars in data centers? We'll try to fix the healthcare because it's costing us a lot of money, okay? Shut the fuck up, eat your slop. That's the Sunday news for today.
by certain individuals at the DSA, but I'm certainly not.
Because you notice how they don't ask this guy about the data centers? You notice that? You notice how they're like, avoid that question with it? Oh, well, we don't have to ask you the data center question, right? Okay, all right.
Rejected endorsement by certain individuals at the DSA, but I'm certainly not seeking the endorsement from the DSA. And I do think, Kristen, that this whole debate is an effort by Republicans, as you heard from Senator Scott, to try to reduce, the turnout for Democrats. I don't think it's going to work because at the end of the day, what unites Democrats is economic populism, standing up for working people.
Well, one of the big issues that has emerged, I was talking about this with Senator Scott as well, data centers, obviously a major issue. In Battleground, Ohio, Sherrod Brown has run a message clearly opposed to data centers, but obviously artificial.
Somebody asks, why did Donald Trump's ex-wife fall down the stairs the day before she was supposed to testify in court? Because she wouldn't shut up, so she fell down the stairs.
Intelligence is
Learn to shut
a big
up.
Source of competition between the
Then
U.S.
you don't
and
fall
China.
down the stairs.
Do you believe America can lead the world in AI if it's not investing in and if it opposes the infrastructure needed to build these AI centers?
So the issue with data centers has been where they're located, whether you have environmental protections, how they're fueled, and most of all, who's going to be paying for them. So I've introduced...
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, okay. Do you notice how he said it? Like, hey, so what's your stance on data centers? Well, first we got to understand. Here's the thing about data centers. Shut the fuck up. You're in the same lobby, you piece of shit.
Legislation called Power for the People to make it absolutely clear.
Oh, okay. We'll build some legislation, guys. You know the one thing they haven't done in like the last 15 years? We promise, if you vote for all the Democrats, instead of building one reconciliation bill every single year to pay ourselves, we promise we'll build legislation to protect you. And then we'll let them build all the data centers in your backyard. See? It's like, you can either just let them build the data centers and not get anything, or you can vote for Democrats and they're going to create a bill and try to pass it to benefit you when they build the data center. Either way, you're getting fucking data centers. Shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down.
That ratepayers, consumers, should not have to be footing the bill for the wealthiest corporations on the planet. And when it comes to data centers, they're running away from it now. What's she doing on a staircase? What's she doing just chilling at a staircase? Sounds like she wanted to fall down the staircase. Republicans, they were socialists on this. In other words, they want to socialize the costs by making ratepayers pay more and privatize the gains for the wealthiest corporations on the planet. The American people don't want that.
Would you welcome data centers in Maryland?
I leave it up to...
I'd like to shove the money down the throats of everybody and get my money too. But I just want to make sure we pass a bill first about it. Fuck off. No data centers. Fuck you. Give me my money, then you have your data center. Till then, we make sure we don't let the data centers go anymore. You know, we're doing pretty good work with these flock cameras. Those are easy, though. Pretty soon, though, it's going to be time to start telling people, unless you pay me, you don't get to put this up here. Unless you pay me, you don't get to put this up here. Now, I will put a piece of legislation down that protects you as a Democrat from the evil Republicans, and then we'll build data centers all around your home. Then we'll annex your fucking family home. Okay? Once we pass a bill that protects you. And make sure to protect all the black and brown marginalized communities as well. But we're going to pass a bill to protect you, and then we'll build all the fucking data centers we want.
To the individual county and state with respect to the siting of a data center. However, no data center should be freeloading on my constituents in the form of higher electricity bills. And that's what's happening in the...
So the exact same thing that Tim Scott said. You notice that, guys? They literally said the same exact thing. Tim Scott said, I think data centers should pay for themselves. This guy comes in here and says, I think that they shouldn't be freeloading off of Americans. Also, build my data centers, says Senator Chris Van Hollen with Tim Scott at the bar after their interviews on Meet the Press today.
The grid that Maryland's part of, PJM, we spent $28 billion over the last 2 years.
I love that this is a non-issue for like anybody. Everybody's like, fuck data centers unless you pay me. And I love how these grifting lobbyists don't know how to get that through their stupid fucking brains. Until you pay me, you don't put data center up. Not I will pass a bill, not I will give $5 to a black person, not I will make sure the LGBTQ is protected, not I will save all of the water and give it back to Shamu. No, you will pay me directly or you will not receive a data center.
2 years subsidizing data centers. That's insane. That is what Republicans ultimately want, despite what they say. Donald Trump has these sort of feel-good things at the White House, but he hasn't supported the legislation that I've introduced.
All right.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, your legislation's going to be the fucking thing that stops it. You're right. His bill. Chris Van Hollen, the man I've never fucking heard of before, coming out of his coffin to let us know on the Big Five today on Sunday Morning News that if we only passed his bill, we'd all be protected from the data centers.
Let me ask you about a new headline in the New York Times reporting that House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries met privately with Jared Kushner and discussed potential areas of common ground. Do you see places where Democrats could work with this White House and find some common ground on some policy
No,
issues?
because I'm in a midterm.
I wish I could say yes. I wish I could say yes when it
I
comes
wish
to
I could say yes, but I am in a fucking midterm right now, so no.
the data centers.
As
because-
Hakeem Jeffries and Jared Kushner go to lunch. No. Me and Tim Scott are not going to go to lunch and talk about data centers. I promise you. If you see a photo of us from TMZ, it is fake. It is AI. There's no way.
Republicans talk out of both sides of their mouth on
So
this
are you,
issue.
you
I think we
fucking
need
dildo.
to be level with voters directly on things like data centers and not play games. So, look, this has been a lawless Trump administration. They've been out of control, and Donald Trump has broken his essential first promises, which was to focus on lowering prices and keeping us out of wars. He's done the opposite. We're in an illegal war in Iran, and prices are going up. Broken promises, betrayal.
Given that, do you support the fact that Leader Jeffries met with Jared Kushner?
Look, I'm in favor of people meeting with whoever they want to discuss ideas, but it's one thing to have a meeting. It's another thing to see something real come out of that.
All right. I do have to ask you about your own political future. You have faced growing calls to challenge Leader Chuck Schumer for Democratic leader if your party were to retake the Senate. I know that that's an if still. Those calls followed you even while you were campaigning with Abdul al-Sayed. I want to play a little clip and get your reaction on the other side.
We want someone who's going to be there for working people in Michigan, and of course to be a United States Senator, so for working people all over the country.
And a new Senate Majority Leader.
And we need to make sure, and if I have anything to do about it, the next Senate Majority Leader, Chris Van Hollen.
All right, well, there it is. Abdul al-Sayed endorsing you as the next Majority Leader if Democrats retake control of the Senate. Do you want the job?
I've been very clear that my focus is not on Majority Leader.
No, of course, because I am a shill that only comes out of my coffin once a year. Guys, just so you know, this is the bill he wants to pass that will help us all and become the fucking messiah of data centers or whatever. The Power of the People Act of 2026, introduced by Senators Chris Van Hollen in January of 2026, focuses on protecting ordinary electricity customers from higher bills and grid reliability problems caused by larger data centers. It does not ban data centers, control where they can build at all, or comprehensively address non-energy impacts such as water use, noise, or land use. Its core target is massive electricity demands for largers to instill a retroactive instillment that would lower the energy bill cost for anyone associated to a county in a data center related area. So, whoa, guys, Well, guys, if only we elect all the Democrats, then we'll get this legislation passed, and then we'll build the data centers. And what do we, once we get this legislation passed, we'll make sure that we get 10% off of our electricity bill. Okay. Nice job. Thank you. Try again. But no.
What Democrats stand for going into 2028. Look, what happened in 2024 is that voters were so upset with the status quo that they voted for a convicted felon, Donald Trump. And my view is Democrats need to really
Convicted
stand
felon.
for something. We need to be
just
against
shut
the
the fuck
status
up. You're
quo.
senator,
And that's why I've been kicking the tires as I look at
the media do
2028
that
because
shit, man.
I don't think the Democratic
Supposed to be
Party has
doing
answered
something.
the call about
grifter.
how we're going to make sure we have an economy that really does work for everybody, especially
if we
working
vote for this guy, then we might lower our energy bill by 15% before AI takes over our entire lives. Oh, gee, golly,
You've been
thank
kicking
God.
the tires on 2028, meaning you're thinking about running for president in 2028?
I'm kicking the tires, meaning I've been to New Hampshire. I was invited to go there. I was invited to go out to Iowa last summer. I think there's a great deal of churning within the Democratic Party, and I support that. As I said, I think we need this healthy debate because I don't think Democrats have put forward a clear alternative to the Trump administration.
So bottom line, you're mulling a potential run in 2028.
Bottom line, I think Democrats need to be very clear, not just what we're against, but what we're for. And I'm very much want to be part of that debate. And I am kicking the tires, testing the water.
Okay, so nothing. So no answer.
All right. Well, keep us posted, and please come back,
God,
Senator
guys,
Christian.
what a fucking joke. All right, what do we got
So,
up now?
Donald-
All right, next we're going to listen to Hasan Piker being a little bitch as he's like, oh my God, Donald Trump said my name. So Hasan Piker is really excited because Donald Trump said his name this weekend. So he did an entire video about how Donald Trump said his name. Our next round of the poll of the day, guys, is up now. Double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit that join button, become a comrade, help support the channel, keep us independent and sponsor free 3 hours a day at least, every single day, 7 days a week with the news. No news is news, turning the news into wrestling. Making fun of both the left and the right 7 days a week. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you know when we go live every single day with the news. $5 super chats. Add anybody's name to the poll of the day. $10 super chat. Remove anybody's name from the poll of the day. John Ossoff beats JD Vance. I forgot to put there that John Ossoff has won our poll one time now. But now John Ossoff is going to go up against his second Republican opponent, Mr. Marco Rubio, up this hour listening to Hasan Piker, first Trump mention. Woo!
Trump did a rally, or I guess 2 days ago at this point. Yeah, August 21st, 8/21, a day that will live in infamy. And in the rally, he called me out. He called Abdul El-Sayed out. He said Abdul El-Sayed's mom gave money to Osama bin Laden or some. Just like doing everything they possibly can to claim that Abdul El-Sayed is a terrorist. Yeah, he called me out on 8/21. He really did. A day that will live in infamy. A day that will live in infamy on this broadcast. Okay, no matter what. We can't get away from the 8/21 curse. Just watch Dana Bass ask Scott Jennings if an Indy car is what Trump should be focusing when voters' main concern is affordability. And that man's answer was he saw a video on social media of Hasan Piker celebrating the death of that podcaster. I mean, isn't this one of the accounts that hates me though? I feel like even they're coming to my side a little bit. The Butt Hasan has allowed slop tubers to unironically get away with like allegations. The Butt Hasan derangement syndrome has been such a powerful force.
It's called rape, you pussy. I can't stand this. This guy is talking about politics. So he's already the lowest common denominator when it comes to content. And then he has to make sure to have an editor censor the word rape so that he can send out his commercial broadcast correctly. Oh no, I wouldn't want my Cash for Gold commercial on my YouTube channel to not run full ads. Let's censor the word rape. Shut
on
up.
YouTube that has anchored a lot of this resentment, that has been a deflection method, quite successful deflection method at times. And it's kind of wild that we're now seeing it with prominent
switch
American
the Coyotes,
politicians,
Eagles leftover.
prominent commentators in mainstream media. They'll be like, hey, this is a murder trial. You're going to go to prison for life. You murdered your wife and your children, and you'll have the defendant get up there and be like, well, Your Honor, but Hasan. That's where we're at. That's literally where we're at.
The guy literally censors the word rape on his video to get full advertisement on YouTube while he talks about murder. Like, can we just... The grift is up, my guy. You don't care. You're not putting this video out so that people can know that Donald Trump is attacking you. You put this video out so that you can get 55% of ad revenue. On how many views? How many views did you need to get? 55,000. You only have 55,000 views. But you needed that money. So he got about, what? $500 here? A little less than that. So like $300. He needed that $300. He needed to censor the word rape on his 9-minute video on YouTube to make sure it's advertiser friendly as he mentions Donald Trump, because he needs that $300 of ad revenue. Sad. Sad day.
I did not realize that this is where we were going.
Also, fuck whatever fucking soccer jersey this guy's got on. Manchester City for the win today, boys. For the win today. Holland bringing America to the Premier League 2-1. Woo! What a fucking win. What a fucking win.
But we are there.
Also,
all right, here's Donald Trump
Cubs
doing
only
the
6 games
Abdullah
down
Sayed
now.
as a terrorist shtick.
Michigan, the Democrat nominee for Senate, Abdul El Sayed.
LOL, I tuned in after a week away and it's Hasan. Ew. It's only 8 minutes. The only reason we're watching this one, Taco Bell, is because he's just bragging about how Donald Trump said his name. I thought it was fucking funny.
That he wants to pack the Supreme Court with 23 far-left justices to shred the Constitution of the United States. His sister, very close relationship.
I agree, Hasan Piker is gross, but if we're going to make all of the liberals have to watch Asmongold as much as we do, we can tolerate 9 minutes of the narcissism of Hasan Piker bragging about getting a mention from Donald Trump while censoring the word rape so that he can get $300 of ad revenue from YouTube.
Celebrated the terrorist slaughter of babies on October 7th. His mother worked for an organization that gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to a gentleman named Osama bin Laden. Have you heard of him? Knocked down the World Trade Center. She gave him a lot of money, and he recently campaigned with a communist fanatic who says that America deserved.
Uring is Norwegian, you tool. All right, well, that shows how much you know. He's actually from Germany, you tool.
9/11, we deserved it.
But I'm a media man. I was talking about the correspondence of American personification of the Holland fucking trend in all of the white women in America that were in love with his hair before he shaved it this morning. And how America was finally watching the Premier League and we were all rooting for Manchester United. I wasn't trying to inflate where he's born or whatever but you are. So why don't you go and look up Erling Haaland, since you are the one trying to educate me on sports, and you will find out that he's actually from Germany. You fucking moron.
Right?
I never, in 2019, on that faithful afternoon when I was reacting to Dan Crenshaw saying all that dumb on the Joe Rogan Experience, I never...
Some dumb shit like being like, oh, he played for Team Holland, or he played for Team Norway, so I know his lineage way more than this dumbass. He thinks that he's American. Bro, guy is German and you know nothing about sports. Sit down. Also, all of you hags out there commenting on my sports shorts that I post on YouTube, sometimes you watch things that aren't politics, and I find it very hypocritical to be like, I don't watch sports ball, I'm much smarter than that, as you literally sit here and watch 3 to 8 hours of me breaking down the fucking Meet the Press every Sunday. Calm the fuck down. It's all an illusion. It's all an entertainment. All of it. Every piece of it. Even fucking Odyssey, which I still haven't seen. But it's
thought
just,
that
come on.
7 years later,
We're here for the
President
entertainment.
of the
Don't act
United
like you're
States of
above
America would
something
refer to
when
it
you're watching Donald Trump all day.
exactly 7 years after the fact. 7 years to the day. Now, of course, what's frustrating about this is Donald Trump has called in on the morning of 9/11 with joy, with glee in his voice, to a local news station to talk about how Trump Tower was now the tallest tower on Wall Street, now that the Twin Towers have been destroyed. But I guess it doesn't really matter. They get to say whatever.
Well, show you said that he said that in a radio interview. Why don't you play that radio interview, since you just played him saying your name? Or are you just inflating the truth?
They want. They're Republicans, right? Republicans get to own patriotism. They get to own 9/11. No one else is allowed to talk about it.
Deserved all that
own 9/11, bro.
In Texas, the Democrat...
Guys, just another reminder in case you started to like Mondani for a little bit. The guy said that Netanyahu isn't welcome in New York, even though Netanyahu is legally welcome in New York. And so we just need to make sure that what happened to our Mayor Mondani in Staten Island happens on 9/11. If that motherfucker tries to speak on 9/11 and you are in the tri-state area, do your patriot duty as an American, of the right, of the left, just being a human being, and go there and scream at him until he shuts up and make him realize he's not welcome to speak on 9/11. Because that's what we need to collectively do. It would bring me so much joy. You know how, like, we all watch this stupid, like, Hasan Piker in a Mao costume, like, singing Charlie Kirk songs and making fun of blood gushing out of his... Just ignore it. Just ignore all of it. We will get our moment. It will come on 9/11's 25th anniversary. It will come when Mayor Mondani wants to speak, and we make sure, collectively, that he is not allowed to do so. And what I mean by that is drowning out his voice in any public setting where he may appear on 9/11 to try to memorialize what happened. He is not welcome on 9/11. Mayor Mondani, Hasan Piker, you're not welcome on 9/11. And I'm referring to you not being welcome in the same exact manner that you are when you're saying Netanyahu isn't welcome. So if you want to take that as a threat, then counter your own threat, please.
Nominee for Senate said he hates Christianity and that the 10 Commandments are a form of fascism. The 10 Commandments are fascism.
By the way, if we were treating Trump in the way that, like, the media treats me, this is how it would look.
America deserved 9/11. We deserved it, right? We deserved all that death, destruction.
Wow, I can't believe that the president said that. Can you believe that the president said that? How f***ed up, right? Like, this is literally what the Republicans are doing. This is what the Republican midterm strategy is, okay? Unironically, and at least he's the president, so doing it to him makes a little bit more sense. They're doing this to me, a Twitch streamer. Right. Yeah, this is when he called in.
You have one of the landmark buildings down in the financial district, 40 Wall Street. Did you have any damage, or did you know what's happened down there?
Well, it was an amazing phone call I made. 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan, and it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest, and now it's the tallest.
By the way, he said that
on and then they just clip it out. They don't, like,
9/11, the morning of 9/11. Man, I love you, but you cannot go around campaigning with politicians and still call yourself a Twitch streamer. I am just a Twitch streamer. I am. Facts. But regardless, that's not a cop-out. Like, my point is, I'm not saying, oh, I'm just a Twitch streamer as like as some kind of cop-out. It is ridiculous. Oh, really? Even if I was a politician and saying this, okay, even if I was a politician, obviously the expectations are very different from a politician, right? Even then, you should look at what the Republicans are saying and doing, and then figure out whether or not what I'm saying and doing is anywhere near as crazy as what they're saying and doing is. Do you understand? That's the other side of the story that's also frustrating, because people are not even comparing what my worldview is or what my statements are and applying the same standard to the goddamn president of the United States of America. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's so frustrating. This double standard makes me more mad than anything else. Like, I'm not saying this because I'm at the heart of this. You know, obviously that changes it a little bit for me.
Literally, the video is called First Trump Mention in all caps.
But this is something that I've been pissed off about my whole damn life, dude. It's not new.
I'm not saying
I
I'm in
hated
the
it when they were
middle of
doing
it.
this to Democrats as well. Democrats that I don't even like that much. I can't stand it. I can't stand this double standard. They just constantly
Double
cry
standard,
bully.
bro.
And the Democrats always let them get away with it. We have to stop with this. Stop backing down.
Communism is the single greatest threat to our country in history, including World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, 9/11. And that's why we're going to crush the radical Democrats at the ballot box this November. And we're going to defeat communism in America once and for all. We're going to defeat it. It's never worked. It's dirty. It's filthy. It's unhappy. Did you ever see a happy communist? You ever see a communist laugh? I never saw it. I've known communists. They don't laugh. They're very unhappy people. We want to be happy. With your vote
That's bad too.
for
but that's
Darlene
not-
on Tuesday, we're going to send a message straight to the Democrat Party headquarters in Washington. We're going to tell them that we will never abolish ICE. We will never surrender our Constitution. And we will never allow our country to even think about being a communist or even a socialist country. We're not going to let it happen. Why? Well, I don't know. I don't know.
This guy has a kill your local shirt on. Normally, guys that wear that are like always right wing. Could be a former Trump fan turned Trump hater. It's pretty awesome. You are a devolving old man. Like, look who's talking. You're a devolving old man. Look who's talking. No, guys who normally wear like kill your local style shirts, unironically, big fans.
Kill your local what? Oh, yeah. Again, he's censoring the word pedophile so that he can get his $300 of ad revenue, because this guy is such a broke grifter that 58,000 views. First Trump mention, got to censor the word pedophile because he's afraid that the ad money people won't give him his advertising for cash for gold or whatever.
Fans of Trump. The Hogs are losing the rally energy. They can't eat half of their
Censor
treats
the
and it's
word
showing at the
pedophile
spots
as he
where they
glorifies
used to
Charlie
hog
Kirk.
out the most. I agree.
Bro.
The only one inciting violence against American Jews is Piker and his rhetoric. For the future of our party, Democrats have to call out this hate and condemn these dangerous views. Anyone campaigning with them is a part of the problem. Whatever, Gottheimer. Buttheimer.
I love that. I love how Hasan Piker tries to say that somebody wearing "Kill Your Local Pedophile" t-shirt is somehow a right-winger. We see them every day in the chat. The person that's screaming pedophile every day is calling Donald Trump a pedophile. And now Hasan Piker is acting like that's a right-wing phrase. Come on. Also, yeah, just say pedophile. Are you afraid of them? Are you afraid of pedophiles? They're the biggest bitches, scumbags, losers on the planet. Why are we Voldemorting pedophiles? It's fucking kind of weird for $300 of ad revenue. But he cares. Hasan Piker cares. And he's also trying to act like this is a right-wing thing to do. Which is fucking weird because, again, in our chat every day, people call Donald Trump a pedophile. So it's not like Hasan Piker doesn't see that in his chat constantly. And then he's like, this is a right-wing thing to do. Huh? Huh? Yeah, that lady doesn't look fucking leftist at all.
They have not produced one single clip of you saying anything anti-Semitic ever. Law, I know. For a lot of
Okay, so he just said they have never produced a clip of you saying anything anti-Semitic ever. Law. Well, our next video up, guys, is Asmongold pointing out all of the times that Hasan Piker has literally said anti-Semitic things about Jews. El Sayed, surrogate Hasan Piker, threatens American Jews. Well, let's see. Is there a clip of that then?
This threatens American Jews.
Seems like there is a clip of that.
This makes sense because as you know, with Muslims, in the same way that every Muslim is responsible for 9/11, every Jew is also responsible for Israel. This is just the way things work, right? Fair is fair. Every white person's responsible for slavery. You know, like, I don't know. I could go on with more racial stereotypes, but let's just stop.
Let's play it.
And you want to know why?
Single clip,
because
right?
people don't fuck with Israel any longer. And if Jews in America keep putting, and you want to know why? Because people don't fuck with Israel any longer. And if Jews in America keep putting this idea out there that they are singularly invested in Israel, eventually someone's going to come around and take action.
They're not going to come around.
Yeah.
They already did.
Yeah.
When you had a terrorist, so there was a terrorist that killed 2 Israeli diplomats that were just out to dinner, and Hasan's reading the terrorist manifesto, and he has to put his chat into sub-only mode, and his chat in sub-only mode are spamming hearts, and it's his dog holding a heart. It's like, and then I killed them because they were Jews and they're part of the apartheid state, and I had to murder them. And they're like, oh yes, slay queen. It was so bad that Twitch literally changed its terms of service, and that's the reason why we can't read manifestos anymore. It's because of Hasan. It's because Hasan's terrorist audience couldn't stop glazing this fucking psycho. So now we can't read manifestos. What a fucking idiot.
Against the state of Israel, mind you, but against American Jews.
So somebody is going to take action. I went on a rant. I want to just take this back.
Singularly invested in Israel. Eventually someone's going to come around. Jews in America keep putting this idea out there that they are singularly invested in Israel. Eventually someone's going to come around and take action, not against the state of Israel, mind you, but against American Jews.
Whoa. But they've never found a clip of him saying anything anti-Semitic ever. Apparently that's not anti-Semitic, guys. Apparently that's not... Wow. Well, if that's not anti-Semitic, I don't know what the fuck is. And that's coming from somebody that says that we should be able to listen to Hail Hitler. All right? Like, what the fuck is that?
You better watch out, Jews.
Jesus.
You better watch out. We're going to collectively punish you.
Holy fuck.
Again. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Okay.
Isn't it insane that these are the people that call me a Nazi?
Right.
Isn't that crazy to me? Like, I mean, how am I? I'm the Nazi. Right.
Hey, we're teaching people the wrong lesson.
What's the lesson?
What's the lesson? What's the lesson?
People don't recognize how dangerous this predicament is, how dangerous this is for Jews.
Why is it dangerous for Jews?
Yeah.
I'll tell you the reason why it's dangerous for
'Cause of
Jews.
you,
because we've
Hasan.
imported millions of terrorist-supporting psychos into this country, and every single one of them should be put on an aircraft carrier, given a tent, and then fucking sailed over to Africa or wherever the fuck they came from with their whole family. We should
Because
seize
they're
every asset
anti-Semitic
they
and there's
have on the
no
way
reason
out,
for it here.
and they need to never come back to America ever again. That's what needs to happen. That's what we need to do. You're going back to your spawn point.
You're running around basically tying your entire identity to a country.
You really imagine tying your entire identity to a country. Doesn't he do this with Palestine?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, that's not. Well, Asman, that's not a country.
That inevitably will be seen as basically Jewish ISIS.
Well, I don't even see the
Jewish
logic
ISIS.
here. Like, ISIS is a terrorist organization. He supports terrorist organizations. Doesn't that make you just as bad? Like,
probably not, right?
Doesn't that make you just as bad? Palestine isn't real, though. Palestine is a place that everybody recognizes has been historically relevant for thousands of years. Okay, like, it doesn't matter, like, okay, there's like a fucking line here, a line there. Everybody knows what Palestine is. Shakespeare talked about Palestine. What are we doing?
And you're saying, as Jews, this is all we care about. You're making anti-Semitism worse. And you want to know why?
You're making anti-Semitism worse. That's... Okay. God damn, guys. That's...
Because people don't...
You're making anti-Semitism worse. You're making anti-Semitism worse by not agreeing that the terrorists that are killing Jews in Israel are not good people. You're making anti-Semitism worse because you don't support the groups that want to genocide the Jews. You're making anti-Semitism worse because you're not a fan of the organizations that literally want to do a Holocaust. Right. So this right here is the nobody's threatening anybody. Hasan's a reasonable man. He understands for you.
90% of Palestine is Jordan.
What is this? Is there another? There's not another one, is it? Oh my God.
Another one?
American Jews do care about anti-Semitism. It's understandable to care about anti-Semitism.
Well, yeah, because, like, I mean, you didn't, like, there are people that are just ethnically Jewish, and, like, I just spawned in, and now it's my fault that this country on the other side of the world did something stupid. Like, it's retarded. It's just as retarded as after 9/11, where every fucking Arab gets blamed for some retards that flew a plane into a building. It's just as retarded.
Yeah.
It's just as retarded.
It's the same thing. You're right. It is. It's the same thing as Islamophobia. Saying that every single Jew is responsible for anything that Israel does if they support Israel is the same thing as saying anybody from Iraq or Afghanistan is automatically supporting terrorism post 9/11. It's the same fucking thing.
As when every Asian-looking person, you did COVID, oh no, yeah, well, don't stay away from me. It's fucking retarded. Like, what do we do? Like, it's just, oh my God.
I know.
God.
I'm with you, Ezra. Fucking crazy.
This country is becoming, we're becoming a third world
bonkers, bro.
country again. This is crazy. It's completely wrong. Palestine wasn't spoken by Shakespeare? Really? Like, I don't know. Like, is that true? Like,
Shakespeare do it?
Okay, so I can't find it. All right, so there's two examples, right? Othello. I mean, I didn't read a lot of this. I read the Spark Notes for it, okay? And so there you go. At least try and correct it. I mean, just look it up, man. Like, and if I'm wrong on something, please correct me. I don't want to say something that's inaccurate, but that wasn't inaccurate. That's all I'm saying. Oh, that's this. Okay, I found him. We got him. No. It's all right. No, we found him. User. Okay. It's real. Based off of. Let's see. He's a survivor on fire. To be fair. About that.
They don't care about Israel. So how do you tie the two? You say, well, Israel is the only thing standing in the way of the next Holocaust happening. That's how you do it.
What?
To be fair, the stated goal of multiple Islamic terrorist groups is to kill all of the Jews. I mean, I think that there's some validity in this, right? I mean, like, if you're a Jew, so this is the thing, right? The Jews got driven out of a lot of other countries in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, they got all put in Israel. And then they say, well, we don't hate Jews. We just hate Israel.
Yeah, exactly. That's the easiest way to say it.
It's like, come on.
Okay. What
come
the
on,
fuck?
guys. Like, what is it? This is the reason why I just don't want to be involved in the sand wars. I don't.
Me too.
I don't want to be involved in the Bronze Age.
And I think the problem is that, like, the more that you see Donald Trump, the more that you realize Donald Trump isn't the problem. What comes next is the problem, because whatever comes next is going to be these sand wars. It's going to be this bullshit where we're like sitting here fucking talking about fucking, oh, the Muslim and the Jew and the fucking Israel and the this and the that. And I don't give a shit. I care about my paycheck. That's it.
Religious fucking turmoil that's been going on for 1,000 years.
Me.
Holy shit. This is American politics. I don't care what they're doing over there. Like, what are we even thinking about? I'm tired, boss. I know.
Me too.
That's how you do it. So every single time you have prominent Zionist Jews come out and be like, no, this is anti-Semitic. To oppose Israel is anti-Semitic. You're teaching people the trope of dual loyalty.
What?
The only two countries that you can be loyal.
They're fucking Jews. No matter what country you're in, you're going to be loyal to Israel if you're Jewish. They're fucking Jews, dude. Like, what the fuck is that, huh?
Loyal to is America and Israel. There are no other countries. It's either America or Israel.
That's what you're teaching people. After you teach them that, you can't turn around and say, oh, well, this is dual loyalty. This is anti-Semitic. Because at a certain point, people are not going to give a shit. And we're already past that point.
That isn't that good that openly hating Jews categorically is culturally acceptable. Wow. That's amazing. What's going to be country 110? Is it going to be the United States of America, or is it going to be the really big plot twist, Israel?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
What do you do against the fatigue? I think it's ridiculous, right? I think it's just funny. And that's it. What do you do? I don't even think about it, right? It's just silly. Do you think Hasan's being genuine? I don't care. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah, if people saying everything's racist, I mean, again, it's just, the thing is that, like, I mean, there's an element of truth in what Hasan's saying, that it's true that Zionist Jews that want to reframe criticism of Israel as criticism of Jews are making criticism of Jews more socially acceptable because they're doing this in a way that's disingenuous. But I think this is happening in multiple ways. So, like, for example, like, whenever criticism of, you know, like a certain, like, gang violence is reframed as racism, whenever criticism of terrorism is reframed as Islamophobia, I think this hurts the black community. It hurts the Muslim Islamic community as well. So, like, whenever you reframe the bad actions of individuals in a group and then you assign basically a group protection to them, eventually that group protection shield fades and people become fatigued and they just say, yeah, actually we are anti-Semitic. Yeah, actually we are, Islamophobic. Yeah, we actually are racist, right? And he's right about that. And I think this has happened with I'd say Jews in media, right? It definitely has. On Twitter and Instagram, like, you can't scroll Instagram reels and not get a video of like something bad about Israel, right? So it's super common. You ever seen Israel? The Jew hate there is absolutely disgusting. Instagram, sorry. Instagram is just racist.
Yeah.
Like, the most popular song on Instagram is just the N-word.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, that's literally the whole song. Like, that's it. That's the whole song. They just say it over and over. It's like an Xbox Live lobby. So that's the most popular song on Instagram. So like, I mean, really, is it really about anti-Jews? Like, I don't think it's just a bunch of racist guys, right? That's it. So, and or your algorithm's racist? Yeah, probably a little bit of both. So yeah. Anyway, what is this here? Is this more of it?
Deeply Zionist. It's difficult to even approach trying to change their minds. No, I understand that. I understand that. Look, to the anti-Zionist Jews in my community, you have a very tough job ahead of you.
You have a job.
Well, you have to go back to your community.
You have a responsibility now. Just like every Muslim now has a responsibility. Like, they have to openly be against, not like you can't just simply exist as an American citizen and then just live your life as an American citizen. No. You have to actively oppose this other country that you've never been to.
Yeah. Or your
communities
fucking
and try to get your elderly relatives to understand that this connection between Israel and Zionism that is expressed over and over again through a lot of these Jewish institutions, is teaching people the idea that Jews are monolithic. And this is a dangerous, it is a very, because look, it's a very dangerous mode of propaganda. And
it sure is, but you do the same thing with Islamophobia all the time, and you don't say the same thing. So he doesn't actually really think this. I mean, this is the same, like, it's just all bullshit. I mean, it's the same as, like, any other time. But, like, American Jews need to be afraid bad things are going to happen to American Jews?
This idea out there that putting this idea out
there. Sounds like
that,
anti-Semitism to me. Let's get into something else, guys. I can't do this anymore.
Normally I say...
All right, so here's this weirdo fucking Kornacki make-believe guy from CNN. And he's going to tell us how everyone hates everything, but who do we hate more? That's what matters in the election, guys. Everybody hates everything, but who do we hate more?
Hey, it's good news for one side and bad news for the other. But in this particular case, we're talking about bad news for both sides. This voter group wants to sweep both parties out of power in Washington, D.C., but who is the news worse for? Well, we're going to start off by talking about one side it may be bad for, or it is bad for, and that is the Republican Party. Bad news for Republicans. And we are talking about white non-college voters. This is Trump's base. But look at Trump's net favorability rating. You know, you go back to November of 2024 when he was reelected to a second term. Look at this. He was 25 points above water. Now look at this. He's at -6 points down in the cornfields of Iowa. I feel like sweeping it away here with my hoe. My goodness gracious. -6 points. Then you compare that to where he was at this point in term number one. Look at this. He was at plus 20 points. So we're talking about a massive decline here. We're talking about a decline of over 30 points from November of 2024 and a 26-point decline from where he was basically at this point in term number one. Now, what is causing this? Because we're talking about the group here, but it's even more bonkers what is causing this and what's going on with Democrats.
Guys, double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe. We are currently in hour 3. Remember, $5 super chats, add anybody's name to the poll of the day. $10 super chats, remove anybody's name from the poll of the day. Hit that join button, become a comrade, help support the channel, keep us independent and sponsor free. Appreciate you all stopping by 7 days a week with the news. No news is news, at least 3 hours a day. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so that you know when we go live every single day.
Take a look at this. Okay,
back to CNN. Who's worse?
Well, it's so important because
CNN's poll of who is worse. We're going to look at everything, and it looks like everybody hates everybody. But who do you hate more? For the midterms, who do you hate more?
Non-college whites make up the plurality of voters nationwide, 37%. That is why we're talking about this group. Compare that to college whites who are, frankly, overrepresented in the media, if we're just being perfectly honest with each other, or black voters, or Latino voters. They each make up 11%. Non-college whites make up more than, get this, more than a third of the electorate, nearly, get this, 4 in 10, 2 in 5. And that is why the drops that Trump is seeing with these groups could be so devastating to the Republican Party. Because look at these numbers. I mean, Trump economy net approval rating, white non-college voters. At this point in term number one,
he's literally like looking at his term number one almost 10 years ago in a completely different reality and comparing it to today.
He was 29 points in the positive.
10 years ago.
On the good side of the ledger. He was on the good side of the ledger.
His skin color?
Because it's CNN. This is what is causing this decline. We're talking about, what is this, a dramatic drop of what? 53 points? 53 points down to -24 points. Oh, my goodness gracious. And what is causing this drop in the economy? What was the thing that got Trump elected to a second term in the first place? It's inflation. It's inflation. I mean, you rarely ever see drops like this. Trump's net approval rating on inflation among white non-college voters, look at this. It was plus 22 points at the beginning of Trump's second term. It's -38? I was so surprised by this number. I actually had my producer Gordon go back and check this. I thought that this was a mistake. I thought that this was an error because you never see drops. What is this? This is a 60-point drop. This is a 60-point drop in a little bit less than a year and a half. A nearly 60-point drop. Now Trump is 38 points in the red in a group that is part of his own voter base. Okay, so this is the bad news for...
So we called up a bunch of people, and they said they liked Trump. And then we called them up the next year during the midterms, and now they don't like Trump. What's going on? The midterms?
Republicans, right? But remember, I'm talking about sweeping out both parties. I'm talking about sweeping out both parties.
Sweeping out? You're holding a hoe. Was there not a broom that was available? What the fuck is going on?
Bad news for Democrats, because the bottom line is this. Both parties are seen as giant turkeys. They're seen as giant turkeys by white non-college voters. Boy, that was a loud sound, wasn't it? That's a hoe falling to the ground. How about the net favorability rating in the Democratic Party? Look at this. Look at this long-term trend. In 2012, it was -2 points. Look at where it was in a CBS News poll that came out within the last month.
Okay, so it's the same. So everybody hates everybody, and we should stop fucking calling them.
The Democratic
Everyone
Party's
hates somebody
net
calling
favorability
them.
with
is what we're learning.
non-college white voters.
Shut up, no. That's the
36
answer.
points. So the short-term trend, not necessarily good for Republicans and Donald Trump, but the long-term trend's really, really bad for the Democratic Party. Really, really bad. We're talking about, what is this? This is a 34-point drop over the last 14 years. And even if Donald Trump is struggling, remember, it's which side is losing more. When you match up...
Remember, it's which side is losing more. Because we couldn't ever have an alternative, guys. It's about which side is losing more to gain control.
Democrats and Republicans on the economy, what do we see? Do we see, despite the fact that Trump's economic net approval rating is negative, that all of a sudden Democrats are trusted more? They are not trusted more. Look at this. Party that...
Jesus Christ, this is so stupid.
A new
All right, guys, this next
cutting-
one. This is Gates woman had her landline phone since the 1980s. Now Verizon is going to take her fucking phone away.
The cord off, a lifeline.
Jesus.
Absolute, like my world is falling apart because my phone is my lifeline.
Right?
Some of our viewers with landline phones are starting to get warned that the old system is ending. Digital will replace the copper wire lines. And today, in Gates, chief investigative reporter Berkeley Breen witnessed a sense of panic about that change.
Oh, no. No more corded
The sound
phone?
of that ring for Nancy LaMonica is the sound of safety.
Hello.
How long have you had this landline?
I've lived here since 1980s in this apartment.
And you've had the same number ever since?
Always.
Thursday, Nancy says a Verizon rep told her on the phone that her landline is getting discontinued and that a notice is coming. Her first landline call after that was to me. What does having that phone mean to you?
Security. A connection to the outside world. This is my lifeline.
Your landline is your lifeline.
It most certainly is.
A federal decision in 2019 lets the major carriers, including Verizon, phase out old copper wire landlines and replace them with new technology. Verizon said it has not sent official notice in our area yet, but when change comes, it will be seamless and reliable, including battery backup for power outages. Nancy lost her husband about 4 years ago. She lives alone and relies on her phones, even the old rotary one that worked when I called it.
She got a rotary phone.
And the voice quality on that is
beautiful.
There's actually a condition called nomophobia. That's the stress of missing your cell phone. That's what Nancy feels, except her phone has been hardwired to her home for decades. And that causes you to feel what?
Fear and fright, anxiety, stress, absolute, like my world is falling apart because my phone is my lifeline.
I'm outside Nancy's apartment now. A study shows that nearly 40% of adults in New York have a landline. That is the highest percentage of any state in the country.
It's these old Jewish women.
In Gates, Berkeley, Bree News 10, NBC.
40%
Okay,
still
let's
have a
go a little
landline.
further in depth
That's
now.
fucking
Nearly
crazy.
80%.
All right, guys.
You have never been
next up, we got a interview with the WNBA prospect, ex-NBA star.
To speak up for what you believe in.
You have actually taken on dictators, powerful governments, massive corporations, and now you're taking on the WNBA. You felt the need, apparently, to get involved after you heard about some of these women who actually play in the WNBA saying they'd be willing to have men join their league. I mean, tell me about your reaction when you first heard this.
So I remember it was right around my birthday in May. I was watching the WNBA game because I'm actually a huge fan of the game. And I remember one of the players, her name is Gabby Williams, and she went after the game, I think, and she was doing an interview, and she literally said, I welcome a trans athlete on my team any day, and it would not be a problem if I ever play against a trans athlete. So I was like, okay then. If all the coaches...
Nixon called the moon from a rotary phone. I have a rotary phone in my kitchen, but it's disconnected. They're going to force us all to carry cell phones now. Yeah, this is a huge problem, guys. We need to stop this. We need to get back to landline phones, not discontinue them.
All the players and all the
throw these fucking things away.
Is cheering for it. So then I'm like, you know what? That gave me the brightest idea. I looked at the collective.
They're going to force you to watch WNBA.
And I was like, there's no rule against it. Section 13 literally said, if you identify as a woman, you're allowed to play. Yeah. You know? And I was like, let's do it.
Oh, and you have actually declared for the 2027 WNBA draft. So are you actually ready to get out there on the court? Would you be physically going out there, or was the idea to kind of draw attention to this and really have them answer a question that is basic and should be very basic and asked, which is, what is a woman?
So I played basketball in NBA for 11 years. I mean, I averaged double-double, and it was an amazing time. You know, I had so much fun with my teammates. So I love the game, and I am ready to play. I'm prepared to play. So I know I'm 34 years old, and I think I will be the best draft pick in WNBA history, literally.
It's great. He's staying with it. Because if he said, no, this is actually just to fucking get the thing, then they can point to that and clip it. But instead, he's like, no. I want to do it. I want to do it. Let me do it.
I know that there have been meetings between kind of the legal authorities, some of the owners of the teams, to talk about this. What do you think should happen here?
So there's other major sports league obviously closed that loophole. You know, they added like a biological, female or born female in their collective bargaining. But when I looked at them at WNBA, they didn't have any kind of, reference that says biological or anything like that. So I was like, and all the coaches, I was watching this game, and I believe the coach of the Minnesota, right, came out with that trans kids belong. So I was like, if there's no rule against this, if all the coaches are okay with it, think about how much money I can bring. Think about all the endorsement deals.
Well, it's interesting because they have some star athletes who have garnered a lot of attention, who you would think they would probably lean into. Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and it feels like they've actually gone in the opposite direction. So whether or not they're willing to actually save their own sport kind of still remains to be seen. Are you surprised more of them aren't standing up for women and women's sports?
Well, I wish they did, but this is a movement. I'm not only out there fighting by myself. I had, so far I had conversation with 2 former NBA players, 3 European players and 3 G League players. They have no idea. The WNBA had no idea what they are about to face. They're still trying to figure out what a woman is. So let's see if they can figure that out. So let's see what kind of rules that they're going to come up with.
You are no stranger to standing up and speaking up whenever you feel like your beliefs are challenged. You have called out human rights atrocities for many years. You've been a voice for the voiceless in Turkey, in China, in Russia, Iran, North Korea, Venezuela, the Middle East. Most people in your position would stay away from anything controversial, but you have actually leaned into it, which is interesting.
Well, I feel like God gave me this huge platform, and I'm trying to use this platform to be the voice of all those innocent people out there who don't have a voice. I mean, that was my goal. So this is literally God's work.
There actually has been a very high cost to you for this. I mean, you have been kind of cut off from your family, right? You have faced arrest warrants, death threats. You have probably given up millions of dollars for directly going after the NBA. Do you look back at all of these things and say it's worth it?
Well, freedom is not free, and it comes with a sacrifice. I mean, I haven't seen my family almost 14 years now.
Wow.
And because of, I wanted to stand up for all the, human rights abuse happening in China. I mean, they kicked me out of the league when I was 29 years old, and that cost me around $45 to $50 million.
Are you prepared for what may happen based on the fact that now you have gone after the WNBA? Because I'm sure there's probably people coming for you now too.
I mean, I only fear God and God only.
Hell
Everyone
yeah.
believes like me. So
Hell yeah.
I know this is God's work, and I'm not going to give up. And I have no regrets, because whenever I sit down with all these families, I just had a basketball camp in New York. And I remember all the families were coming up to me and saying, thank you. We would like to thank you for what you're doing for our daughter. We are having these basketball camps. And after the basketball camps, we're all sitting down on the basketball court, and we're talking about why freedom is so important and so fragile, why we should care about our rights in America, why we should care about democracy. And it's been amazing because now all these kids obviously asking me questions about so many things, because unfortunately, many of them is being brainwashed by many apps out there, like a TikTok or many other apps out there. But I think once we sit down and have these conversations, they appreciate America more. They appreciate this country more, just like my teammates. I remember one time I walked into locker room, and all my teammates were criticizing America. They were saying, oh my God, America is so trash. America is horrible. I walk in the locker room, I'm like, guys, our season is about to be over. Whenever our season over, I'm gonna buy you a first class ticket. Let's go to some of these countries out there like China, like Russia, like Iran, like Turkey, like North Korea. Forget about calling those governments a trash. You criticize those governments, you and your family members will be jailed to death. So people have no idea how blessed we are in this country.
Well, Nas, this has been fun, but we have a basketball court here, so I think maybe we should test out the theory that you're ready for the WNBA draft.
So I can show the whole world.
Let's go see what you got. All right, but in real life, Enes.
Okay. All right, Fox News. God damn. Sometimes Fox News is just like
2000.
So unserious. It's not even funny. Air traffic controller surprised new recruits. Video gamers. Guys, I literally was like, I'm so desperate for a job right now. I applied for the air traffic controller, and then they told me, no, you're not allowed to be one. You have to be under 31. So I find it very hilarious that they have the same policies as the military for the air traffic controllers, while they say that they have a huge shortage of air traffic controllers and they have a huge problem with people calling out from work. Maybe it's because you have to be under 31 to even become an air traffic controller. Maybe it's that. Because again, you can run marathons, you can, Tom Brady won a Super Bowl after the age of 31. But you can't be an air traffic controller because we don't trust you, as people literally work at 65 years old because they started at 31 as an air traffic controller. Makes no fucking sense. And then the opposite of that is that I literally applied to ICE, and the people are saying, oh, blah, 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 you can just get an ICE, all these racist people just joining ICE and making $55,000 just so they can beat up Hispanics or whatever. I applied in February. I have a phone interview on Tuesday. They said it's one of 3 interviews in the process, and that most likely the process will last up to 18 months.
Gamers.
I wonder why we can't do this?
Come on, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
But now they're going to get the video game people. Don't you worry.
Says with only about 25%,
they're going to get the kids playing the GTA to do it.
Degree, this effort
they're going to save you.
Reaching talented young people,
the kids
pursuing
playing the
alternative
GTA.
Career paths, many of whom are active gamers.
I've been a gamer most of my life.
Oh, they are looking for people that play video games. Okay, well that definitely fits me.
Exit interviews reinforce the link between ATC and gaming, with several controllers pointing to video games as a major influence on their ability to think quickly, stay focused, and manage complexity. And it's true, many games exercise those exact muscles, including the muscle memory they have in their fingers from using a keyboard or a console controller. Strategy and action games like Call of Duty, Civilization, and League of Legends
Come be
all
a mechanic, all
require
you need is
split-second
$100,000
decision-making
personal
skills.
investment in tools.
Even cozy games like Pokemon
And
Utopia
training,
can
yeah,
help
exactly.
keep routines from getting dull. And that
Don't worry about the $50,000 in film equipment that you've bought in your entire 18 years of your career. Your career doesn't exist because it's not a real job. Go become an HVAC technician at 35. Come on, go. We're building these data centers. We need to beat China. Come on, go.
way beyond traditional flight simulators.
There's hand-eye coordination.
Oh, you want to save the airports? Well, sorry, too bad. You're over the age of 31.
All as they're playing games.
We need a bunch of nerds that are going to call out from work, but then we wonder why they call out from work. Maybe because they're under 31. Does anybody in the chat remember being under 31? Do you give a fuck about calling out to work?
In the tower controlling the airspace.
Like the
To get
logic.
more stories like this and get the scoop on other jobs gamers might be recommended for in the future. Check
Oh,
out
the
Fox on Gamers
gamers. If you're a
podcast every
gamer,
Friday. In
if
New
you're a
York,
16-year-old
in the Big
gamer,
Fox
become an
News.
air traffic controller and crash
sure to
fucking
like and
planes into each other. Woohoo! All right, Trump teases major meeting with Kim Jong-un.
Can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And I know Kim Jong-un very well, and he's going to be fine. As long as we have a smart president, he's going to be fine. If we have a dumb...
Okay, well, that was just stupid. I hate when the news does that. They just recap shit.
On the
All right,
morning
now we got our big hyped video of the weekend, guys. Go and check this channel out. This is called Lost Things Found. They have 54,000 subscribers right now. This video dropped 6 days ago. It is number 3 on the hype charts, and it's called "The Marine Corps is Stupid and Spiritually Deprived." All right, let's check it out. This will probably be our last video for the day.
On March
we go back
18th,
up
2016, a recruit at Marine Corps Recruit Depot Paris Island gave his drill instructor a handwritten note. Shortly after, he fell 38 feet onto concrete.
Simon Shackhead joins us live with their take on an expanding investigation of possible hazing and abuse by the Corps.
It's a case calling into question disturbing and possibly deadly practices.
U.S. Marines are known for their toughness, but in this case, the question is, did these drill instructors literally push a recruit to his death?
Of the court-martial for a Marine Corps drill instructor is facing charges of cruelty and maltreatment.
The defense argued that any actions taken were within his realm of duties as a drill instructor.
The circumstances surrounding this quickly became a source of outrage in the active duty military and veterans community. For many of them, it was proof of something they have always known. The Marine Corps had gone soft.
The military is the same as any corporation. Like, if you kiss ass, you get ahead. And it's like, well, if you're going to kiss ass to get ahead, then you're not going to get the best and brightest, you know? So you normally aren't going to get the best and brightest unless you're actually at war, because if you're actually at war, then you're not worried about credentialing your best friend up to sergeant or whatever the fucking thing is above. You're not trying to promote your friends. You're trying to promote the best and brightest. And that's what it should always be, but we should have a system in place in the government to make sure it's always the best and brightest, even when we're not at war. Not, oh, well, my best friend's buddy's buddy is actually going to become the fucking head now. Oh no, furries at the military? What the fuck? Show our Japanese friends what we're fighting for. Imperial Japan flag flying on American battleships. That's wild. Guys, if you become a member for 2 years, you get that Imperial Japan flag. That is our final little emoji. If you look at Two Gun Cohen, he's a Cuban right now. In October, he will become an American citizen. Hit that join button. Help support the channel. Become a comrade today.
It's at times like this that the new recruit begins to wonder whether he's not made the biggest mistake of his life.
Nothing's gonna touch you in these golden years.
Talk to a United States Marine for any length of time, and 3 things are very likely to come up. He will tell you how brutal his boot camp was. He will tell you that everything that happened to him, while harsh, happened for a purpose, that it shaped him into the man that he is today. And he will tell you that his was among the last cycle of recruits to experience the real thing, before they reined in the drill instructors and started letting everyone in. These claims are made by current and former Marines of every generation. They are made across decades and across single years, regardless of whether anything has actually changed in the official recruit training order. Taken at face value, this means that the Marine Corps has been getting steadily softer at a constant rate for its entire history. The other possibility is that Marines are unreliable narrators of their own experience. The truth...
Well, I mean, look, J.D. Vance is a Marine, right?
Is probably a little bit of
Do
both.
you think that J.D. Vance and David Goggins are the same human being? That they're built the same? That J.D. Vance and David Goggins are one and the same? They can both belong to the same club, but their brains are clearly built differently.
Training has indeed changed over the years. Many practices that were standard in 1965 will now end a career. And it has been a good number of years since the last platoon of recruits drowned in the tidal creeks around Paris Island.
Bro, what? 6 deaths drowned?
But it is also a very human thing to exaggerate experiences like this, one that is not at all unique to the military. Our memories of a thing are often bound up in the pride of having experienced it, of having been there at a time when it really meant something. And for Marines, the pride is not entirely misplaced. Whatever has changed over the years, Marine Corps Boot Camp remains one of the longest and most demanding basic military training programs in the world. For the recruits who sign up for it, it will be the first major challenge of their lives that they undertook and completed voluntarily.
Oh, you're right. I kind of misspoke there, Lunatic. You're right, because David Goggins is a Navy SEAL I guess they are both Marines, right? Are Navy SEALs Marines? Is that the same thing? I don't even know that. But
almost certainly be the most interesting and consequential thing that has happened to them up until that point, and will remain near the top of that list for many years to come.
Trained, right?
So when a Marine exaggerates about his boot camp, he is not lying. He is telling the truth as he remembers it, and protecting something that matters a lot to him. I bring all of this up because the instinct that makes a Marine fondly exaggerate his boot camp experience is the same instinct that lets him read a headline about a dead recruit and a drill instructor convicted of abuse, and conclude that the only problem was that the recruit was too weak to have been there in the first place. In 2014, I graduated from recruit training in San Diego, California, and shortly after was sent to Paris Island, South Carolina, the older and more famous of the Marine Corps' 2 recruit training depots. Essentially, the Marine Corps took something I had just finished doing and arranged for me to spend the next several years watching other people do it, except in Sandfleet.
Marines are still under the Department of Navy, SEALs are special forces, but they're tiers of the teams. Yeah.
In enormous numbers, which recruits are expected to endure while standing outside and at the position of attention for hours at a time. As unpleasant as it is to be a recruit on Paris Island, it is a much lousier place to be stationed permanently. The base has a working population of a few thousand, and it functions a bit like a small company town built around a single factory, in which everything is arranged around the production of Marines. The roads close when a company of recruits is running on them. The Marine Band plays the same graduation ceremony each week. Photographers shoot the same handful of training events every day, and the general atmosphere is a lot like being stuck in a time loop. You see the same faces at the gym and at the chow hall or PX, and after a few weeks there's hardly anyone on base you cannot recognize. The only exception, of course, are the recruits. 18,000 of them come through in a year. Every week, one company graduates and another arrives. Recruit training is a strange thing to witness from the outside. After a while, you start to realize how little of it is what it appears to be. The recruit believes that he is undergoing a grand trial designed to separate the weak from the worthy. He believes he is being studied and tested at every moment.
Unfair, but the system is unfair. I mean, hell, I didn't pay my credit cards for 2 months, guys, and I'm just getting a notification as we're looking right now telling me that my credit score went up. It's like the fucking whole system is a piece of shit. They're like, oh, you don't have money this month? Well, your credit score just went up. You want to take a loan out, pay your rent? Fucking dude, like, fuck the American fucking system.
Determine whether he has what it takes to become a Marine. His recruiter has assured him that everything in boot camp has a purpose, that even the things which seem arbitrary or pointless are all part of a finely tuned system of psychological conditioning to transform a civilian into an elite warrior. In reality, he is being moved through a standardized process, managed at all levels by worn-down and indifferent people who are mostly operating on autopilot. The process is designed to teach him the bare minimum that he will need to function inside of an institution that will frequently require him to deal with things he finds unreasonable or unpleasant. The recruit is not wrong for believing that he is being transformed into a Marine. He just has the wrong image of what being a Marine actually involves.
Cut it. Selfie pics? I know. I need to. I really do. Y'all would buy, right? You'd buy? Alright, guys. Part 3, how to handle the babe with the powers. Alright, guys. We might get back into this. This is a really interesting documentary. Go ahead and check it out if you guys have the time. The Lost Things Found. This is from channel Lost Things Found, and it's called The Marine Corps is Stupid and Spiritually Deprived. And it dropped 6 days ago, almost has 1 million views, and is the number 3 hyped video on all of YouTube right now. But with that said, hit the button. No fucking way, guys. No fucking way. With 161 votes in, at the end of our show with the drop in it, we have a tie. We have 2 winners tonight. John Ossoff getting his 2nd win, and Marco Rubio getting his 28th win. You are watching No News is News. And I'm your host, Alex R. Wagner, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. Let me pull that down a little bit. Let's see what's going on here real quick. Snoop Dogg with 1 win. Ron DeSantis with 1 win. John Ossoff with 2 wins. Gavin Newsom with 24 wins. Marco Rubio with 28 wins. And JD Vance with 86 wins. JD stays in the running again, everybody, tomorrow. Let's double check and make sure there isn't any other weekend news. We do. We have a little bit of weekend news. Let me read this off for you guys. Former NBA center Enes Kanter Freedom was ejected Sunday night's Indiana-Chicago WNBA game after Sky guard Natasha Cloud yelled and pointed in his direction late in the 3rd quarter. Freedom was sitting along the baseline. He had on a black shirt that read "Women," noun, adult, human, female. Freedom declared himself eligible for the WNBA draft this month, saying he now identifies as woman as looks to challenge the support of transgender women playing in the league. So they kicked him out of the game, and he was just watching the game. Wow, that's pretty crazy. This has become the thing in the WNBA games. This is the story from earlier this month. WNBA responds after fans told to cover the XXXY shirts. At least 3 fans were asked to buy WNBA security personnel to cover shirts that had messages about transgender women participating in women's sports during Sunday's game at the in Atlanta between the Dream and the Indiana Fever. The league said in a statement Monday that the fans should have been free to wear the shirts. The WNBA is aware of the interactions at Sunday night's game in Atlanta, in which fans were asked by league security to cover their shirts. The statement said this should not have happened. 2 people wore XXXY shirts with a message that women's and girls' sports should be restricted to women born biological females, while 1 person was wearing a shirt in support of transgender people. Celine Dion's upcoming Paris residency, which kicks off September 12th, will mark a major return to performing after her health challenges lied her in canceled shows and suspended her 2023 world tour. One of the climate trends we are watching, interesting twist on the end of move to cut pollution that saved millions of lives, but has also had warming effects on the planet. Of course, everything comes with the good, comes with the bad, right? Stories we have been tracking on the Mo News, explosion wildfire in Reno, Nevada. About 90,000 people have been evacuated so far. It's still burning out of control with 0% containment, guys. So, wish your friends in Nevada good luck, because it's spreading pretty thick there. It's covered about 300 to 400 miles so far over the weekend, and it's continuing to run. An important reminder this weekend about the risk of lithium batteries as the battery explodes in an American Airlines passenger plane. We read that earlier at the beginning of the show. Let me double check for you guys, just see what's going on with Daddy Trump tomorrow. Roll call before we get out of here. Schedule. Let's see what the president's schedule is for tomorrow, everybody. Come on. Come on. Come on. Internet. I swear, sometimes the internet. 8 a.m. executive time, closed. 9 a.m. press call. 11 a.m. president participates in policy meetings, closed. 12:30 policy meetings, closed. 2:30 Rose Garden White House press pool. Participates in a Rose Garden event. So at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow, guys, we will be live with Donald Trump's Rose Garden event. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that. Let me see if I can get a little bit more information potentially from C-SPAN. Tomorrow, they don't have the Rose Garden on the schedule yet. 1:30 Central Time tomorrow, guys. We will see you then. Until then, thank you for watching. No news is news. Double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe, everybody. Hit that join button, become a comrade, help support the channel, throw those super chats out, and keep us independent and sponsor free. Appreciate you all. Help and support the channel, keeping this community alive. It's pretty fucking awesome. We're doing well here. I thank you guys so much. See you tomorrow. Peace.